Illinois will be expected to know what the Dutch Reach is. Lawmakers approved a plan in the spring to add questions about the bicycle safety to the state's driver's test. The Illinois Secretary of State's office says the Dutch Reach is the move where you reach across your body with your right hand to open your driver's side door, which turns your body so you can see if there is a bicyclist coming your way. In sports news, Karl Anthony Towns, that is, racked up 20 points and grabbed 20 rebounds as the Timberwolves blasted the Bulls 119-94 last night at the United Center. Wolves guard Derrick Rose says there was no extra motivation playing against his former team.
No, it was just simple, win the game. I think all my friends and family know, don't text me or anything before the game. I'm not trying to hear what you want or what your expectations are. I'm just trying to go out here and win the game, and I think that's what I did tonight.
Zach LaVine scored a game-high 28 points off the bench for the Bulls. The Blackhawks are back from Christmas break tonight. They welcome the Wild to the United Center. Chicago had its three-game winning streak snapped with a 6-3 loss to Florida at home on Sunday. This news report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Indeed, used by over 3 million businesses for hiring, where business owners and HR professionals can post job openings with screener questions, then sort, review, and communicate with candidates from an online dashboard. Learn more at Indeed.com/hire. AM 560 news time is 5:04. Where are the cars this morning? We'll have the answer in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
The world is a dangerous place. Often, it's a very ugly place, and you come here to try to help make sense of it all. We give you the latest news, help you understand what it means and why it's important. But there are bigger questions you need answered about life and death, faith and hope. And that's where our sister station, AM 1160, Hope for Your Life, comes in. When you're looking for answers to life's biggest questions, give them a listen at AM 1160 or online at 1160hope.com.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
The average smoker tries to quit up to 30 times, and many are looking for an alternative. Juul was designed by smokers, for smokers, to be a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Juul is a vapor product that contains nicotine for a satisfying transition. If you're one of the 34 million adults who smoke, know that there is an alternative to cigarettes. Make the switch at Juul.com. That's JUUL.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Season's greetings from Stifel. My name is Ron Kruszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel Financial Corp., headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri. On behalf of nearly 8,000 Stifel associates across the globe, may the spirit of the season warm you and your loved ones. My wish for our nation is to focus on the things that unite us. Let us be thankful for the many blessings that connect us to each other. We at Stifel wish you peace and prosperity in the new year. Season's greetings to you and yours from Stifel.
With live cycling classes streaming to your home every day featuring real-time motivation from world-class instructors, Peloton is the perfect gift this season and any season. Just go to onepeloton.com or visit them at 520 Michigan Avenue, Oak Brook Center, and Westfield Old Orchard.
At 5:07 from the AM 560 Traffic Center, here's Jim Telemonte.
Kennedy Expressway outbound traffic slow Harlem to Canfield. There is road work in that area, including the closure of the on-ramp in Harlem. This work should be lifting shortly. Right now you're looking at about a 2-minute delay on the outbound side. Inbound, Kennedy is okay right now. Issue 4 inbound, the entrance from Michigan Avenue is closed. That work should be wrapping up soon also. There's some fire activity affecting the southwest side. It's around 21st in California. CTA is rerouting 94 California bus in that area. We'll have some Harlem Globetrotters traffic at Rosemont this afternoon and tonight. Blackhawks traffic tonight. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
Breezy and mild, occasional rain today, high 50. A shower this evening, otherwise clouds and breezy tonight, low 44. Cloudy and breezy for tomorrow, turning colder in the afternoon, flurries, and a high 44. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Your next news update is 5:30. Continuous coverage of news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Chicago's Morning Answer on 560 The Answer. Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser filling in today for Dan and Amy. We're so glad that you could join us. Want to tell you first up front here, Joe and I usually spend our days working at the Illinois Policy Institute. We're thrilled to be able to join you this morning, where the views and opinions expressed by the host of this program will be those of themselves alone, not necessarily representing those of the Illinois Policy Institute or Major League Baseball. Yeah. There are opinions; they should be yours. So we'll work on that over the course of the program today. Again, really excited to be with you, having I think mostly recovered from Christmas. Joe, how was your Christmas?
It was pretty good, pretty relaxing. It's nice to have a few days off around now. Got the new iPhone 10, which is freaking me out because I was on an iPhone 6 before then. I haven't charged this phone, and I got it a couple days ago. I haven't charged it in weeks, though. It's incredible. How about yours?
It was good. I would ask you first, though, have you set it to read your face yet?
I did, and it's freaking me out.
Yeah,
so, I'm just kind of accepting that Apple has all my information and kind of owns my life now. So it's whatever. Once you get over that initial hump of being worried about it taking your facial recognition, it's actually okay.
It is the brave new world.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Good. I mean, I'm always thrilled to hear when people had a relaxing holiday. That's nice. Yeah. It's a nice thought. I have children.
I'm not familiar with those.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're familiar with the concept, I imagine.
The concept, yeah. And it's not one that I embrace.
So, yeah, I have children, and which always means that it's the holidays are, especially Christmas, is more stressful because there is so much that you have to do to prepare for the Christmas holiday. I have been hearing, especially from my daughter, what she wanted for Christmas starting roughly back in January. And it's hard to keep track of every single thing. I mean, short of just saying the entirety of the American Girl catalog, it's hard to keep track of exactly every single thing that she is asking for.
Did you take your kids to see one of those mall Santas where they read off their Christmas list?
Did we? Oh, God,
that's something
it's a blur.
I did as a child all the time.
Yeah, I did it all the time as well, and I'm pretty sure that we did. Oh yeah, we did because we we're members of the Museum of Science and Industry, and they have a member breakfast where Santa is there.
I'm not sure why I ever did that because I always knew, even when I still believed in Santa Claus as a young child, I knew that the mall Santa wasn't the real Santa. So I'm not. It's not a tradition. But anyway,
yeah, I always read it as he's a surrogate. You know, he's
sense,
he's a representative.
Yeah.
You know, in the same way that priests are the representative here on earth of Christ. You know, he's a representative. The Santa's a representative. Yeah,
that's a good analogy.
Yeah, especially it's Christmas, right? So yeah, I'm glad to hear you had a nice, relaxing Christmas. Let me tell you about mine.
Go for it.
Christmas Eve, right? Christmas Eve. already having some fun. We had gone on the architectural open house tour back in, I believe it was October, and one of the stops we made was at Holy Name Cathedral, which if you've never been to Holy Name Cathedral in Chicago, it's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have some friends who are critics of the architecture that think it's a mishmash of styles, but nonetheless, the production is rather impressive there. And I thought, okay, all right, this would be cool. We should go here for Christmas Eve service. What I didn't think was just how early we would need to get there. So we got there at about 4:45, and there was already a group gathering in the back of the church because there were no seats left.
For a 4 o'clock mass?
For a 4 o'clock Christmas vigil mass. And thought, well, we could do one of two things. We could either stand throughout the mass, which again, I have kids ages 8 and 5, or we can get back in the car. We can bust it down to the south side, Hyde Park area where I live, and try to make mass at our home parish. We went with the latter option.
And this is also a 4 o'clock?
This is also a 4 o'clock mass. So because it could possibly be held against me, I will not go to exactly how fast I went down Lakeshore Drive. But needless to say, faster than I think you're supposed to, if not only because Lakeshore's speed limit is stupid. And if you actually were to go the speed limit on Lakeshore Drive, it would be dangerous because no one else does.
Yeah, it's a suggestion.
It truly is a suggestion. So we were going a little faster than normal, though, and made it only 10 minutes past 4 p.m. So I'm thinking, okay, all right, we recovered fairly well from this. This is going well. And then I remembered one of the traditions that my wife and I have is that we always get sushi for dinner on Christmas Eve. And I had the brilliant idea of using these delivery.com points that I could get, like, my entire dinner for like $7 because I had so many of them stacked up. And I had ordered it to be picked up at a place only like 5 minutes away from Holy Name. I'm like, oh, man. So now we got in the car afterwards. I had to drive back up to downtown, pick up dinner, drive back home.
Are the kids still with you?
Kids are still with us at this point. Kids are still with us. Having a jolly old time. Actually, they were fairly well behaved, all things considered. Outside of the normal wrestling I have to do with my son, who very loudly throughout the mass will ask, "Is it time to go yet?" He's been pretty good, all things considered, and they're doing well with this, all things considered.
It's still early in the evening, though.
It is. I only realized once we get back home, we get the kids fed, and we get them kind of like, they start to open their one Christmas Eve present. I don't know if this is a tradition your family enjoyed as well. I realized that I ordered the sushi incorrectly, and instead of having the regular rolls, I have hand rolls, which, one, I didn't know that was an option. I thought I was just clicking the button I had to click, and no, I was not. I ordered that incorrectly, which frustrated me. So yeah, Christmas Eve was great. Truly relaxing. And I haven't even gotten to Christmas Day yet.
Do your kids, 5 and 8, already enjoy sushi?
No, they would not eat it. They would not even come close to eating it. They're not that adventurous. Not even close.
Wasn't sure if that had a refined palate,
but yes, I haven't even gotten to Christmas morning yet.
Okay.
Christmas morning is this joyous period of time, right, where all the kids get to open presents and everybody's having fun. I want to tell you about the fun that we had and how exactly it started. We will do it after this break. We want you to be a part of the program with us today. You can call us at 312-642-5600. You can share your fun Christmas experiences. If you think you have a story that tops my Christmas experience, I certainly want to hear about that. You can text us, text DA to 64636 if you want to be a part of the program. Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser, filling in today for Dan and Amy.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Wow, we've been doing a lot of roofs.
And we're ready to do yours. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson from Crumweedy. Okay, say it. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
Remember that when you need repair or when you need a new roof.
It's so important to choose your roofing company wisely.
Here's our pitch.
Installation. It's the ball game.
We follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact. Most roofing companies don't do that.
When we give you a quote, we give you good, better, and best options. You decide.
And we're not going anywhere.
We're a third-generation family business. 65 years of doing great roofs.
We run the company on good, conservative values.
For any roofing problem or need, call your roofing guys, Crumweedy.
Do we have any special offers? Sure. Just ask. We'll take care of you.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com.
When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because Lowe's has the fixtures and the savings pros need to finish the job right. Building or renovating a bathroom? Right now, you can get up to 35% off select bath faucets. You can even get select toilets starting at $88. Plus, you can order what you need at lowesforpros.com and pick up your order in-store. So, Pro, now that you know, start with Lowe's. While supplies last, selection varies by location, U.S. only.
'Twas the holiday season, and in your garage, a brand new John Deere. That's not a mirage. With neighbors admiring your shiny new ride, it's your year for a Deere to fill you with pride. So if additional offers are what you desire, see our low rates before they expire. Now start up your engines and drive out of sight. New John Deere equipment for all, and to all a good night. Make it your year for a Deere. See your John Deere dealer today to discover more amazing deals and attractive financing offers.
Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Quoting our great 26th president, Teddy Roosevelt, to educate a man in mind and not in morals is to educate a menace to society.
For FDA-regulated staffing needs, Automated Systems provides top talent, including experienced quality control and assurance engineers, plus validation and compliance experts. Hiring the best is critical to success. ASI resources are all degree professionals with decades of experience in manufacturing, automation, and FDA compliance. That's why ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life science companies to successful startups. For a staffing evaluation, call Laz at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit hireasi.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or online at hireasi.com.
Welcome to A Dash of Salt, where we debunk myths and shake up what you think you know about salt. Myth number 1 comes from KDP.
Salt is bad for everyone on the planet, and no one even needs that, because, I read that on a blog.
Okay, let's shake it up. Here's the truth. Everyone needs salt. Like we need water, salt is essential to human life. It can help keep our muscles strong and brain running smoothly. In fact, it's actually one of the nutrients that makes every cell in your body function. And that's pretty important, right, Katie?
I guess.
Everything's better with a little salt. Find out more at alittlesalt.org.
If you are behind on your bills, then this message is for you. How would you like to have a large portion of your credit card debt or medical bills forgiven? National Credit Card Relief would like to give you free information on a proven debt forgiveness program. It's not bankruptcy, it's not consolidation. This special program actually wipes clean the portion of your debt that is forgiven. Call for your free forgiveness information now. 800-291-6670. That's 800-291-6670. Don't wait. Call 800-291-6670. Not available in North Dakota.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water. Like our client Kim from Mount Prospect.
We had chronic basement flooding and no one could figure out why. During a huge storm, water was pouring in through the window wells of our finished basement and we had to bail out 6 inches of water. We got a bunch of estimates, but Gus's was the most reasonable, plus he knew exactly what the problem was. He put in a full basement drain tile system and an additional sub pump with a backup battery. Chicagoland Waterproofing gave us peace of mind. I like to say, in Gus we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
The average smoker tries to quit up to 30 times, and many are looking for an alternative. Juul was designed by smokers, for smokers, to be a satisfying alternative to cigarettes. Juul is a vapor product that contains nicotine for a satisfying transition. If you're one of the 34 million adults who smoke, know that there is an alternative to cigarettes. Make the switch at Juul.com. That's Juul.com. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Season's greetings from Stifel. My name is Ron Kruszewski, Chairman and CEO of Stifel Financial Corp., headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri. On behalf of nearly 8,000 Stifel associates across the globe, may the spirit of the season warm you and your loved ones. My wish for our nation is to focus on the things that unite us. Let us be thankful for the many blessings that connect us to each other. We at Stifel wish you peace and prosperity in the new year. Season's greetings to you and yours from Stifel.
AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy, talking about our separate Christmas experiences. And I led up only to Christmas morning for the Christmas that I had. I want to continue that story now. So, my children are early risers.
Which makes you, I'm sure, an early riser.
By necessity, an early riser. I want to stress, they got this from my wife's side of the family, not from mine. I appreciate that they have this gene, assuming that it is one that they will continue throughout their lives. I wish I was the kind of person who could get up naturally early in the morning.
Oh, I agree. You're much more productive.
I'm just not. Waking up at 3:30 or whatever, 3:15 that I did this morning for this program to be with you all here today. Is not something that I'm used to.
I didn't really know there was a 5:30 in the morning, 5:25 in the morning. This is the first I've heard of it.
I understood it in the academic sense, in the way that I've never been to Paris, but I know a thing called Paris exists. Kind of the same with that, 3:30 in the morning. Although enough to remember in college when it was like I experienced 3:30 in the morning when I was still up at 3:30 in the morning.
When I'm
but that's
going to bed,
that's qualitatively different
Yes.
than waking up at 3:30 in the morning out of necessity. So yes, my kids are early risers. My son will be up sometime around 4:30 to 5 every single morning. My daughter, who's 8, is starting to sleep a little bit later. Thank the Lord. So yeah, that's what they're normally up. So the one day of the year where this actually kind of dovetails into what normal parents experience is Christmas, where kids supposedly all get up remarkably early because they want to open presents. It's really not all that much earlier than our children normally wake up. So one day out of the year, it works out fine. What we decided to do was we knew they would get up between 4:30, 5, something like that. My wife and I are not ready to do anything at that time of the morning. So we let them open their stockings and then let them play for a while before we would get up and open presents with them a little bit later. This is going fine. They're dealing well with this.
So you get up at 4:30. You kind of let them out like a dog.
Yeah. Do the walk, the bathroom thing.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, it's stocking opening. They open their stockings. They start to play with some of the stuff that they got. They also have their tablets that they can watch. We put I think we put a Christmas program on for them. And about 6 a.m., my wife and I have kind of fallen back asleep. And my son knocks one of the stockings, one of mom and dad's stockings that are not open, off of the mantle. It makes a loud noise, and normally that would not, I don't think, be enough to really wake us up, except we have a security system in our house that you can set, a higher level of security when you're away, and a lower level of security, so if someone tries to break down the door, for when you're there overnight. And it's still set. And one of the things it's sensitive to is loud noises. So we were both awakened by the screaming of our house alarm from my son knocking the stocking off of the mantle, which, in the pantheon of ways to wake up in the morning, a screaming siren is not one of them. It's like, I'm sure if you go through the iPhone settings that you have, because it's on even my older version of the iPhone, there's the option for like the submarine alarm.
Oh, yeah, it's terrifying.
Who would wake up to that?
One of my roommates in college had that, and now anytime I hear that, I freak out. It's a PTS situation.
Yes. So this is the way that I started my Christmas morning. But the good news is, thanks to a podcast I was listening to and a great idea from one of the hosts of this program, I think I discovered the perfect way to not only cope with this kind of, I don't even know quite how to describe it, this incredibly fuzzy feeling that you have from being shocked awake, as one might be from a screaming siren at 6 a.m. I think I found the perfect way to deal with it.
And
you're going to have to come back after the break.
Oh, it's always teasing.
To find out the perfect possible way to deal with, well, a screaming siren and children at 6 a.m. after they've been up since 4:30. I tell you, it works. We want to hear from you. Call us at 312-642-5600, or you can text DA to 64636 to be a part of the program with us today. Really excited to be here. Really excited for you to be a part of the program with us. Share your Christmas experiences, your Christmas stories with us. So much more to come on the program today. But first, we go into the newsroom with Perry Williams.
Good morning. It's 38 degrees and cloudy in Chicago at 5:30 on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Perry Williams. No snow from the strong storm system, that is, moving through the upper Midwest is expected locally. The National Weather Service says the Chicago area is on the warmer side of the system and is expected to get a period of moderate rainfall and gusty southerly winds today. A few thunderstorms are possible. Newly released police dash cam video is showing a shocking moment from last month when a Metro train almost hit several vehicles. The video was recorded by a police cruiser in Mokina that was steered away from the train at the last second, but not before it showed two other vehicles just get over the tracks in time. Metro officials say the crossing gates and lights failed to activate for the train between the Front Street and Hickory Street stations. The transit agency says the malfunction at the crossing was repaired later the same day. And in sports news, the Bears are getting ready for Sunday's regular season finale against the Vikings in Minnesota. The Monsters of the Midway clinched the NFC North at 11-4 and is just a game behind the 12-3 Rams for the 2 seed in the NFC. AM 560 news time is 5:32. How bad is traffic? We'll have the answer in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Mike Gallagher just sees things working under President Trump.
Americans are talking about the crisis at the border in a way that we've never talked about it before. We're having a conversation about all of this in a way that we never had in the past and in a way that we never would without the election of Donald Trump, without his impetus, without his leadership.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
If you did not purchase health insurance coverage during the 2017 open enrollment, I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time during the year. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. If you are between the ages of 19 and 64, you are automatically paying for maternity coverage whether you want the coverage or not. If you are a non-smoking 50-year-old male or female living in the city of Chicago, the monthly premium rate for a 100% tax-deductible health savings account PPO plan would be $590 per month. But I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity benefit and lower your monthly premiums down to approximately $240 per month. To see if you qualify or for more information, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
It's Dr. David Kolbaba.
It's our winter survival kit for this cold and flu season. It's power-packed with natural ingredients, and unlike the flu shot, it's safe and effective. First, it's our Sunny C 1000. It's highly absorbable, and it does not suppress your body's natural killer cells like most other vitamin C supplements do. And when you purchase your first bottle of our Sunny C 1000, I promise to include scientific data to back it up. And I'll also include a vitamin C dosage chart for you to customize how much is best for you, whether you're fighting off a cold or flu, or you want a preventative dose to keep you from getting a cold or flu. Sunny C 1000. It's easy on the stomach, and it's essential in fighting illness. And when you order your Sunny C 1000 today, be sure to get more information on the rest of our winter survival kit. Call 800-794-1855. It's our HealthQuest Radio hotline. And be sure to listen to HealthQuest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11. But for now, that number again, 800-794-1855.
At 5:33 from the AM 560 Traffic Center, here's Jim Telemonte.
Traffic's moving well on the expressways and tollways at this hour. There's some fire activity on the southwest side around 18th and California, or between 18th and 21st. Looks like everything's pretty much wrapping up in that area. Eden's expressway is all clear at this time. The Kennedy looks good too. Overnight work has cleared at Harlem. Traffic's moving well on the Kennedy in both directions. No problems to report on the Eisenhower, Stevenson, or the Ryan. I-57 is wide open. Bishop Ford delay-free. Lakeshore Drive is looking good. The tollways, there's still some morning construction on 355, the Veterans Memorial Tollway. Both directions, Butterfield and North Avenue, right lane is closed. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
Occasional rain, breezy and mild today, high 50. Shower this evening, otherwise clouds and breezy, low 44. Cloudy and breezy, turning colder tomorrow afternoon. Some flurries late in the day or evening. High tomorrow at 44. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Your next news update at 6 o'clock. Continuous coverage of news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Now more of Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy. We've been talking about our Christmas experiences, and want to finish sharing with you the way that I found to deal with the joy of not only being first woken up by excited children at 4:30 in the morning, but then again being woken up by my son setting off the house security system and 2 minutes of a screaming siren to begin my Christmas morning. I've been listening to a podcast with Charles C.W. Cook from National Review, who shared a Christmas tradition that he had. He grew up just outside of Cambridge in England. The part of their Christmas tradition is the kids will open the stockings first and the gifts from Father Christmas, which he says is also enjoyable because Father Christmas will always, get them a few things that they want, but he's also the one that gets them the things that they need, the, quintessential socks and underwear gifts that you didn't appreciate as a child. But it's also the kind of gifts that, the older you get, the more you come to appreciate it because it means I don't have to go out and buy those things myself.
Yeah, that's how I am now,
which is not something I'm at all jazzed about doing. So it becomes something you appreciate later in life. But at the 5-year-old, 8-year-old point, no, not so much.
And my goal is to have 365 pairs of underwear. That's why I only have to do a load of laundry once a year. So that's the kind of gift I really appreciate.
If you can get the 365 pairs, then you can just throw them out after each one you wear.
And then get new Christmas.
And new at Christmas, and you just start the whole process over again. So Charles said that what he learned is, especially as he grew up, the way that his parents always helped cope with all of the insanity of Christmas morning is you brew a pot of coffee. And in addition to that, you open a bottle of champagne.
Okay.
It works. Let me tell you. It works.
By what do you define works?
It kind of brought me down from the nervous high of having my security system scream at me to start Christmas morning.
It's interesting how alcohol does that. You know, that's I'm glad that could help you out on your Christmas morning and dealing with your kids and the alarm and all that. It's funny. I actually, you asked me about my Christmas, but that reminds me, you know, sometimes I have champagne in the morning, not before work, but on the weekend sometimes. And actually on Sunday, the 23rd, I had champagne in the morning, polished off a box of Entenmann's donuts. And the reason I did was because I didn't have
Breakfast
kids.
of Champions. Yeah.
Because I didn't have kids.
Yeah.
And because I could.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you got to experience that too.
No, I think you underestimate the experience of being a parent. So like when somebody, like my doctor, when he asks, you know, hey, you know, like he always asks those questions about how much, you know, how many drinks do you have a week?
You have to lie,
yeah. Do you ever drink alone? And my answer is always like, no, the kids are usually running around somewhere. No, it was a fun way, enjoyable way to start the morning. I enjoy a nice bottle of champagne as much as the next pseudo elitist that I sound like saying I enjoy champagne in the morning. But nonetheless, yeah, rather fun, rather enjoyable. Had a good time.
I'm glad you had a nice Christmas.
Thank you.
Yeah. The story only took 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
but it had a happy ending.
It had a very happy ending. Yes. Thank you. So yeah, I hope someday you can also appreciate that joy of being woken up by a small screaming version of yourself at 4:30 in the morning. It's actually, I will say, one of the things about having children that I have come to appreciate is I have come to appreciate the plight of everyone I know. And I'll tell you why. Because I didn't realize quite how obnoxious I could be until I had small versions of myself and had to argue with them.
You probably, your respect for your parents grows
through the
immensely.
roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, through the roof.
Yeah.
But also it's, you know, you're not perfectly replicants of your parents, but you know, you see enough of yourself in there. And for me, like, one of the hardest things to grapple with is the idea that my children are not tiny adults and that I can't reason with them.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No. Yeah. I've always kind of looked at, well, not always, but more recently in my jaded 20s is
jaded 20s.
Kids are kind of just like dumb people. They're just not, they don't have the sense of reasoning. They don't have the sense of logic.
They're like drunk young adults.
Yes. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. They are. If you think back to if you've ever had to deal with a, you know, young adult, maybe college age, just out of college age friend who has had too much to drink, who is irrational, who will demand food on a moment's notice, who will get bizarrely picky about who will think of combining foods that should not be combined. Let me give you an example. If I ask my 5-year-old what he will want for dinner, I will typically get an answer of something like a hot dog and yogurt.
And what's the problem?
Those
are a couple of my favorite things.
Or as you call this, Thursday. Not typically things that I would think to pair together. Not that he consumes them simultaneously.
He doesn't like cut the hot dog up and then dip it in the yogurt.
No.
Okay.
Or, you know, he might have at one point in time. I'm now kind of struggling to remember if that was a thing that happened. It probably has. But the idea of pairing, to me, a hot dog and heavy dairy does not naturally speak to me.
Yeah. I say tomato, you say tomato.
Yeah, right. So that it is kind of like dealing with that, you know, a drunk young adult, or at least in my limited experience. That's kind of what it's been like. If your experience has been different, if your experience varies, please call me and tell me, especially if you have older kids. I want to know. You can see, too, as they develop personalities like my daughter, the frustrated affectation that she wears on occasion is just going to wear beautifully on like a 15-year-old. It's going to be delightful, I can already
And that'll
tell.
be here before you know it.
I'm already halfway there.
Yeah.
She's 8. I'm already almost more than halfway there. So that's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to that experience and her. But the great part about it is right now she's more or less incapable of being embarrassed by me. Because she has no true context for that social experience of what it's like to feel embarrassed by your parents. Oh, but it's coming.
Oh, it definitely comes. That's probably around, 12.
12, 13. I think once you hit the teens, I tend to think.
It probably lasts till about 17, 18, 19.
We'll come back to this after the break, but there's an interesting tweet that I saw because, Joe, you'd referenced you got an iPhone for Christmas. I want to come back to that, but and to the way things change. But as shopping malls have kind of gone away, like to me, the quintessential idea of embarrassing your children is like dropping them off or picking them up from a shopping mall. But as shopping malls disappear, what is it going to look like? What is my embarrassing my children experience going to look like? I don't know yet. But we'll come back to this idea of how quickly things have changed, how different it is now, what it is like living now than it was even just 15 years ago. Share your Christmas stories with us at 312-642-5600, or you can text DA to 64636. Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser, in today for Dan and Amy.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. If you're a small business owner or you make the marketing or advertising decisions for a business, then listen up. Once again, our annual Food for the Poor campaign is underway to raise money for children suffering from poverty in the Caribbean and Latin America. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide food and clean water to several thousand children in Haiti this Christmas season. And here's how your business can be a big part of this. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor. Just make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor, and AM 560 will give you 40 60-second commercials to air right here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you. That's the best advertising deal in all of Chicago. To take advantage of this deal, just call Anjanette at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
If you're not pleased with your child's progress this school year, now's the time to consider enrolling your son or daughter in St. John's Northwestern Military Academy. With an ongoing enrollment program, it's never too late. For years, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has served young men and is now an excellent co-ed environment. Not a school for troubled kids, but one that will prepare young men and women for college by focusing on rigorous academics and leadership with a safe, secure, and structured environment free from distractions that's conducive to successful learning. St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual, and character development, athletics, and their military traditions. Find out more about St. John's Northwestern Military Academy ongoing enrollment. Call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org. Famous conservative quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
Ronald Reagan once said, "The trouble with our liberal friends is not that they are ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so."
Hey, manufacturing companies, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Coolchar from Automated Systems. Automated Systems is a software and systems integration company that specializes in companies that are required to meet FDA compliance requirements. Automated Systems will create a custom solution to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer projects. From Fortune 500 to startup, ASI delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, or I encourage you to talk to Laz at Automated Systems, call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit hireasi.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or online at hireasi.com.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Lots of people would have told you to abort that baby. You didn't do that. I know that was hard. I want you to know that no matter what, I know that you always did the best you knew how to do, and look how it turned out. Those are the touching words Oprah Winfrey used to say goodbye to her mother, who passed away on Thanksgiving Day this year. Look how it turned out indeed. Vernita Lee's daughter is now a billionaire, instantly identified the world over by the mere utterance of her first name. Oprah may not preach what her mom practiced, but thankfully more Americans are choosing Vernita Lee's example over her daughter's. In the last decade, abortions in the United States have declined 25%, according to the CDC. Even as secular humanism has poisoned so many American institutions, sacred and civic, prayer warriors, Planned Parenthood defectors, and the pregnancy centers who tend to families in crisis are winning hearts and minds. As we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, we should also celebrate that the culture of life is beating back cultural Marxism.
It's Dr. David Kolbaba.
It's our winter survival kit for this cold and flu season. It's power-packed with natural ingredients, and unlike the flu shot, it's safe and effective. First, it's our Sunny C 1000. It's highly absorbable, and it does not suppress your body's natural killer cells like most other vitamin C supplements do. And when you purchase your first bottle of our Sunny C 1000, I promise to include scientific data to back it up. And I'll also include a vitamin C dosage chart for you to customize how much is best for you, whether you're fighting off a cold or flu, or you want a preventative dose to keep you from getting a cold or flu. Sunny C 1000. It's easy on the stomach, and it's essential in fighting illness. And when you order your Sunny C 1000 today, be sure to get more information on the rest of our winter survival kit. Call 800-794-1855. It's our Health Quest Radio hotline. And be sure to listen to Health Quest Radio with me, Dr. David Kolbaba, this Saturday morning at 11. But for now, that number again, 800-794-1855.
AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser filling in today for Dan and Amy. Be part of the program, 312-642-5600 to give us a call, or you can text DA to 64636. The last segment we had, I'd mentioned the iPhone. Joe, you said you got for Christmas. It's a lovely gift.
10, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lovely gift. There's this tweet going around on this website called twitter.com. Things that didn't exist 15 years ago. I'm going to give you this list. Okay? 15 years ago.
So this is 2003?
I was told there would be no math.
Somewhere around there.
Sounds about right. The iPhone, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter.com, the very website from which I'm reading this. That's Meta.
Yeah.
Instagram, the iPad, Netflix streaming, Google Maps, Snapchat, Spotify, the Android, Uber, Lyft, Alexa, Airbnb, the App Store, Google Chrome, WhatsApp, Fitbit, Waze, Slack, Square, Dropbox, Pinterest, Venmo, Bitcoin, Hulu, and Kindle. None of these things existed. I haven't fact-checked this. I assume that's true, but it sounds right. It sounds true.
I don't remember the first year the iPhone came out, but yeah, everything else is within the last
iPhone would
8,
have been
years.
2006, I believe.
Okay.
2006, 2007.
Sure. And then everything else, Twitter, mid to late thousands, Bitcoin, somewhere around 2010, I want to say. Someone can fact check me on that. But for the most part, it's lasts between 7 to 10 years.
Yeah. 15 years ago, we didn't have any of these things. So the question I think it raises is, are we better off for having these things? Now, I bemoaned, not truly bemoaned, a minute ago, the loss of the shopping mall. as truly this kind of gathering place. Like, it was a place that I went with my friends in high school and junior high to hang out.
Same.
Bookstores is another one. I used to get into it with this friend of mine about how we're losing bookstores as this place of an exchange of ideas, of a sense of some kind of community around literature and ideas that exists in the notion of a bookstore. That we're losing this because Amazon is driving them out of business. Oh, and by the way, we're actually not. I saw a report a couple days ago that like small mom and pop type bookstores are actually growing. More people are reading physical books now than they did 3 years ago, 4 years ago. So despite the iPad, the Kindle, all of these devices on which you can do digital reading, physical books are still popular and actually growing in popularity.
People actually gravitate toward those mom and pop bookstores. They kind of have more charm than your Barnes and Noble or your Borders. I mean, I used to hang out.
One of the two of those doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah, Border. Yeah, I used to hang out at those two and Woodfield Mall, Deer Park Mall, and I got to say, I don't know if I'm gonna miss. I mean, maybe the nostalgic part of me thinking back to my high school and junior high days. But for the most part, I don't know if I'm going to miss shopping malls. I don't know. I just think, and I'm interested to hear what people think, but I think the alternatives that are popping up are just better. I mean, what advantage are you losing with the shopping mall? What besides your memories of being out at one? I don't know what consumer experience you're losing by there being fewer shopping malls out there.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. I kind of miss the idea of a shopping mall more than I miss the actual concept of a shopping mall. Got a call here from Brian. Let's go to Brian from East Chicago, Indiana. Brian, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. I want to ask you about your Christmas Day experience. You said that you got up drinking after turn off the alarm or something, got off drinking champagne. Is that true?
Yes, that was accurate.
You got up drinking champagne. Do you think that's really a good image for your kids to have on Christmas Day? You know.
Do you, to what extent do you think a 5-year-old is cognizant of that, to the extent that it is even a problem, which I don't see?
Well, I seem to remember, I've memories of my dad and the parties that they had, and yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, well, I also think it's something to do with moderation and how you're drinking. And thanks for the call, Brian. I will say my parents drank in front of me all the time, and I turned out average. So
yeah, my parents were perfectly content to consume an adult beverage. Look, this is one of the things that I have a problem with. I have a problem with the way that we as a society approach the idea of talking to kids about the consumption of alcohol as compared to, and you can all call and yell at me about this if you really want to, say the way that the French do it. The idea that we create this notion that this is like, here's this thing and you can't do it and it is off limits and it is bad, rather than trying to, and I think this is perhaps what Brian was trying to get to, and I would note that he mentioned parties, not the idea of enjoying a bottle of champagne first thing in the morning. We weren't getting fall down drunk. Right. We're not having a rip-roaring party. There weren't a whole bunch of people coming over. There was no irresponsibility to be had. One can know one's limits and act in a responsible manner within the confines of one's own home, consuming a beverage which you are of legal age to do so.
It sets a good example if you're drinking in moderation and it's a casual thing and you're not getting stupid with it. I saw my parents drinking when I was young as something they, had a beer at dinner, a wine at dinner. It's not, you're setting an example of how to do something responsibly, as opposed to this just like some forbidden thing.
Yeah.
That might entice them later on because it's forbidden.
And to the notion that it's like, starting 6 a.m. with drinking something. Again, well, I don't know about your experiences. They may vary, but that's not the way I start my every day. Christmas is different.
Yeah.
It is a day like we didn't leave the house on Christmas Day. We're not going anywhere. We didn't, again, it didn't go from like, let's open a series of bottles of champagne and act like idiots. No, one can act in a perfectly responsible manner.
The grossest part about that story is the 4:30, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. part. To me.
Tell me about it.
That's the thing you should teach your kids differently, is that you can sleep in past when the sun comes up.
Believe me, if we're talking about modeling behavior, I try to model the behavior of not getting up at the crack of dawn, before the sun is even up. They don't emulate it. I wish I could say that I found this direct connection between behavior I have and what my children will emulate, but it doesn't seem to work. If it did, things would be a lot different. Like, for instance, they don't totally emulate the OCD compulsions that I have, whereas like the water-based toy that my daughter has been playing with for the last 2 days that gets water everywhere, which makes my skin crawl because of my obsessive-compulsive disorder compulsions. She wouldn't, she'd be as nervous about that, but she's not. No, not a big deal. I wish they emulated more of the behavior that we set for them, mostly because we're generally responsible adults who also like to not get up at 4:30
Well, like
in the morning.
we were saying before, they're like drunk young adults.
Yeah.
That's what a kid is.
Yeah.
So you're not that. But I want to get back to the, after we throw it to break, get back to the, how you're going to embarrass your kids when they get older. And the idea of the shopping mall.
So many great ideas. Be a part of the program, 312-642-5600. Text DA to 64636. First, we go into the newsroom with Perry Williams.
Good morning. An appeals court is upholding a Chicago ordinance that will raise the price of cigars, self-rolled tobacco, and chewing tobacco. It's 6 o'clock.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
He's back at the White House. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Trump and the First Lady landed in Washington after 5 a.m., returning from the surprise trip to Iraq.
So we're not the suckers of the world. We're no longer the suckers, folks. And people aren't looking at us as suckers.
He greeted and addressed troops at an air base. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, President Trump thanked the troops, telling them because of their hard work, ISIS is no longer a threat it was 2 years ago, noting the territorial caliphate in Iraq and Syria has been nearly eliminated.
Great job. I looked at a map, and 2 years ago it was a lot of red all over that map, and now you have a couple little spots.
The president defended his decision to pull forces from neighboring Syria, declaring of Islamic State militants, "We've knocked them out. We've knocked them silly." Dave?
Rachel Wall, in Iraq, the president also again called for border wall funding.
The Democrats all agreed that you need a wall until I wanted it. Once I wanted it, they didn't agree.
So the standoff continues with Congress over funding the wall. It's day 6 of the partial government shutdown. Some senators return to the Capitol today, but there's no word on any compromise. Stocks could plunge again this morning. Dow futures down nearly 400 the day after the biggest one-day point gain ever. More than 1,000 points yesterday, rebounding from the huge sell-off Christmas Eve. It's day 2 of the manhunt for a cop killer in California. The man who shot and killed an officer in Newman, south of San Francisco, at a traffic stop, then fled. This man's a neighbor of the slain officer.
It just really hits home, and just got off work, and it's the most I can do is just put some flowers here. I wish I could do more.
A first at the bottom of the earth. A man from Oregon has traveled across Antarctica by himself. It took Colin O'Brady 54 days to haul 375 pounds of gear, more than 900 miles through the snow and ice and wind. This is Fox News.
Good morning. It's 39 degrees and cloudy in Chicago at 6:02. On AM 560, The Answer, I'm Perry Williams. An appeals court is upholding a Chicago ordinance that will raise the price of cigars, self-rolled tobacco, and chewing tobacco. A tobacco retailers group filed a lawsuit against the ordinance, arguing the city was prohibited from new types of tobacco taxes because it already taxed cigarettes. In other news, Chicago Bulls fans received a special gift from ESPN. The trailer for the upcoming 30 for 30 documentary focusing on Michael Jordan and the 1990 Bulls was released on Christmas Day. It shows some never seen before footage from the 1997-98 season when Jordan won his sixth and final title with the team. This news report is sponsored by Peloton, the perfect gift for them and you, with live cycling classes streaming to your home every day, featuring real-time motivation from world-class instructors. Peloton is the perfect gift this season and any season. Just go to onepeloton.com or visit them at 520 Michigan Avenue, Oak Brook Center, and Westfield Old Orchard. AM 560 News Time is 6:03. Where are the cars this morning? We'll have the answer in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Sean Hannity applauds the president's stance on trade.
We have had horrible one-sided deals with everybody. That includes NATO, 72 cents of every dollar. That includes even our European allies and friends, supposedly. They have one-sided trade deals. Mexico, NAFTA, Canada, now China. So we're making huge progress.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
What a year. Your home improvement to-do list still isn't done. But hey, at least you still have time to get the Ford vehicle you've always wanted. Just get to the final days of our holiday sales event. Stop by your local Ford dealer today. It's where you'll find our best offers of the season on Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. So, see you sometime between now and January 2nd. Ford, built for the holidays. And now for a limited time, you can bring home a new F-150 with 0% financing for 72 months, only at your Ford dealer. Not all buyers will qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $13.89 per month per $1,000 finance, regardless of down payment, is available on 18 model year F-150, excludes Raptor. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 1/2/19. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and complete details.
Do your gums bleed? Have you been told that you have gum disease? Are you missing teeth? The doctors at PerioCare can help. This is Dr. Russell Sakala, and I am a periodontist. I specialize in the treatment of gum disease to save teeth and dental implants to replace missing teeth. Did you know that gum disease has been linked to a variety of other health problems, including heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and increases the risk of premature birth? The good news is the doctors at PerioCare are specialists in the area of treating gum disease and the placement of dental implants. We treat the whole patient and use the most contemporary treatment options that best fit your condition. Our primary goal is to restore your dental health and replace missing teeth to maintain your general health. I'm a veteran and I support veterans. PerioCare offers a discount for those who have served. PerioCare, where a healthy smile means a healthy body. For a consultation, call 773-631-0344 or visit us at periocare.com.
Finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. Accountemps can help. With Accountemps' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors, you can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company.
At 6:05 from the AM 560 Traffic Center, here's Jim Telemonte.
In Kenosha this morning, Green Bay Road is closed between 60th Street, Highway 158, which is 52nd in Kenosha. That's due to a fire. There are delays on the CTA Red Line at 79th Street. The northbound or Howard-bound trains are stopped due to police activity. Traffic is generally light on the expressways and tollways. There's a slight delay now on the inbound Stevenson Expressway. 35 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. It's heavy Pulaski to Kedzie. Inbound Ryan, you've got a 1 or 2 minute delay from Roosevelt into the Burns Circle. Roadwork is wrapping up on the Veterans Memorial Tollway in both directions, North Avenue and Butterfield, and also on 8094 Grant and Burr. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
More Chicago's Morning Answer comes your way next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
Breezy and mild, occasional rain today, high 50. A shower this evening, otherwise clouds and breezy tonight, low 44. Cloudy and breezy for tomorrow, turning colder in the afternoon, flurries, and a high 44. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Your next news update is at 6:30. Continuous coverage of news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy. Thank you so much for joining us. Be a part of the program with us today. Give us a call at 312-642-5600 or text DA to 64636. That's DA to 64636 to be a part of the program. We've got a lot coming up in the program today. I want to give you a sense of what you have to anticipate. Rory Broomfield is going to be joining us from across the pond to tell us what is going on with Brexit. Of course, there was the Brexit deal that Theresa May had negotiated with the European Union, which she did not have enough votes to get through Parliament. There was the failed vote of no confidence in Theresa May. What does all of this mean? That all happened about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We haven't heard much about it since. So Rory Broomfield, who was a former director of the Freedom Association and the Better Off Out campaign, a pro-Brexit group, is going to join us to tell us what is going on there. And then later in the program, Vincent Caruso, our colleague at the Illinois Policy Institute, is going to join us to talk about sin taxes in Illinois, not the kind of sin taxes that I am probably using terribly in my construction of grammar here, but the kind that actually charges you for the things that you like to do, but you're not supposed to, apparently.
Like
So they tell
like
us.
drinking at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
with your kids.
yeah, that riles some people up, apparently. We've been talking, Joe, about things that existed 15 years ago on Christmas, or that didn't exist 15 years ago on Christmas, that exist now. I saw a lot of takes from people saying, I would go back to that world, the world that doesn't have, again, really quickly, here's the list. The iPhone, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, the iPad, Netflix streaming, Google Maps, Snapchat, Spotify, Android, Uber, Lyft, Alexa, Airbnb, the App Store, Google Chrome, WhatsApp, the Fitbit, Waze, Slack, Square, Dropbox, Pinterest, Venmo, Bitcoin, Hulu, and Kindle.
And you so you said at the outset before you rattle off that list, you'd want to go back to that world, or you're just opening up the question?
Now, look, I would have been a few years ago the kind of person that would have said, had this teleological belief in kind of the march towards the sunny uplands of history, that everything is improving and going to continue to improve. And I think if you look at the track of, Human Progress, there's a great Twitter feed, Human Progress, website humanprogress.org, that tracks the way that society has improved, that our lives have improved. Fewer people live in poverty today. Like, the poverty rate has been cut by more than half in the last, 20 years, 30 years, something like that. It's a remarkable accomplishment. But I think we're living through one of these periods of time. There's other ones in history that you can point to where you're having a lot of rapid change, rapid, not only growth, but especially a rapid change in the way that people live and orient their lives. And I think we are struggling to deal with it. Now, whether or not I would want to go back and live in a period of time where the iPhone doesn't exist or Facebook doesn't exist, well, it doesn't matter. I can't snap my fingers and magically be in some, better designed and probably not nearly as great point in history as we like to sentimentally recall. But in this list, are we better off for having the iPhone, for having a computer in our pockets 24/7? Are we better off for having Facebook? I think you can separate those from things like, are we better off having Google Maps? Absolutely.
Of course. I agree. We don't know how to use all this, and it's kind of like an overload, but I think this stuff just corrects itself. And the one topic that I've always found interesting with, all these different social networks is the idea that there's increased loneliness, increased anxiety over checking your Instagram or your Twitter feed over and over again. I think that's a real problem, but I'm of the belief that it kind of corrects itself. I think both the consumers and the creators of the social networks will adapt to those problems over time. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm of that belief that you just mentioned, that you said you had a few years ago, that everything is better, everything will continue to get better, and I think the problem you just outlined will correct itself down the road. And it's hard for me to explain that because I don't know what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I want to agree with you to a certain extent, but I think I may disagree on the side of it that you think it's going to correct itself on. I don't know if you've watched any of these hearings with the, Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook or the CEO of Google, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. If you watch these, or, my favorite was the one with Jack Dorsey from Twitter, because just as a sidebar, I often wonder if Jack Dorsey and the other people who created Twitter, if they wake up at 3 a.m. in a cold sweat thinking, oh my God, we created the thing that got Donald Trump elected president. Because I kind of believe that they do. I don't, I think a lot of the idea that there is these purposeful biases that these people are operating on is a little overblown. I don't think that they are politically conservative or politically on the right. I just don't think that there is enough evidence to support the idea that there is a purposeful conspiracy to, say, obscure conservative opinion. I think that's a little bit overblown. But I would go as far as to say I don't think any of the people who created Twitter are Donald Trump fans. And I can only imagine the feelings that they have about having created the device that is not solely responsible for him becoming president, but played a large role in it.
But it's also a device that could be the answer to, if you're on that side of the political aisle, it could be the answer to removing him. Like it could bring about a new movement. It could bring about a new candidate. It could do the power of Twitter. And the fact that it was able to help Donald Trump become president can help someone else become president. It can spur a movement. I mean, when I was in college, in journalism school, they always talked about, this is right around the time of the Arab Spring, how powerful Twitter was then.
Yeah.
And there are so many other positive examples. I just think, like I said before, it corrects itself, or you just look at the power that Twitter has, and getting Trump elected, it can do so much more than that.
Yeah, let's come back to the whole idea of correcting itself and how it may correct itself. And the reason that I don't believe it's going to get corrected on the side that you seem to suggest it would be is if you watched these hearings, these people, Zuckerberg, Dorsey, the Google people, I think are incapable of necessarily correcting it themselves. In part because when, Facebook is asked about the prevalence of fake news articles on their website and how they're going to deal with that, are we going to bring in fact checkers? The answer has almost entirely been from them, we'll just create a better algorithm. There's a lack of understanding that they seem to express, to me at least, of human nature, of the way human beings actually work, because they are these kind of super smart engineering mindset people that thinks you can turn the knobs the right way, press the right buttons, and everything will work perfectly. That they think that these things can actually be digital communities that, if not replace, can at least replicate the idea of in real life communities. And they just can't. And they're going to have to realize the limitations of the incredible, brilliant things that they've created if they are going to be able to correct it, which is why I think the correction is going to come from people changing their behavior,
that's
not executives and not the people who create these platforms.
I agree. And I think one will affect the other, but I think we can get to that in a second.
Yeah. So I would separate, again, some of these things in this list out from the others, Uber, Lyft, but some of it does kind of merge together, right? How do you call an Uber or Lyft without the iPhone in your pocket, without being connected to the internet 24/7? What are the things you'd mentioned earlier that, on a truly serious note, the idea of this increased loneliness or separation from other people that these platforms seem to foster?
This is where I think the correction comes, because I think it comes from the consumer. It comes from the people who are consuming the different social platforms, because once we have a better idea of this loneliness problem, this anxiety that these networks create, and we have a better understanding of that, I think people could reject it or could influence how the platforms are created and how they operate.
Or they opt out themselves.
Or they opt out themselves. I'm not focused on Mark Zuckerberg changing his platform. I'm focused on the people who use it changing their consumption and their use of Facebook.
Yeah, going back to the conversation we were having earlier about the way that like children aren't necessarily going to perfectly emulate responsible behavior. They are children. One of the things that is really concerning is the spike in suicide rates, especially amongst young girls who seem to be more affected by the pressures of this online world. And I've battled within myself this idea of like sentimentality, of thinking, oh, things were so much better in, I was born in the 80s, but primarily I'm a child of the 90s, thinking that, things were so much better in the 90s. We live wealthier lives now than we did in the 1990s. I think we could say we're generally better off for that. Again, this isn't teleological. This is not moving towards a, necessary better end. It doesn't always have to get better. It can get worse. And this is one of the signs, to me at least, that while, there is this sense of, and it is somewhat true, it is true, that we live wealthier, more comfortable lives, I don't know that people are happier with them, especially because we're inundated on a regular basis of our own curated lives to mean that are organized in a way to look better than they actually are.
Entirely, and I think that's kind of the breakdown of the shopping mall is an interesting thing, because there's this idea of losing community, and that leads to loneliness and isolation. And I remember going to shopping malls with my friends to hang out, which was a weird concept, even if I'm not like purchasing anything.
Yeah.
But I kind of look at it more. So I guess I agree on both on that one front of missing the shopping mall. But I also look at the marketplace and seeing like the internet as the new shopping mall, and like this is way better. This is a way better thing. And maybe that's because people don't consider the loneliness stuff as much. They don't think about the loss of community, because you're not consciously thinking about losing that. It's more of a thing you feel, and you don't realize why you're feeling it. I don't think the loneliness that's developing in young people and the isolation is something that they're cognizant of necessarily. I mean, they might know that they feel that way, but they don't know why.
Yeah, they have nothing with which to juxtapose it.
If you're a child of the early 2000s, you have no comparison.
You don't know a time that the internet didn't exist. You don't know a time that this wasn't basically the world you were living in. It's only gotten faster and quote unquote better in the time that you've experienced it. But this also, I think, contributes to the negative polarization that exists in our society on particularly political grounds.
Entirely.
That this loss of community, that, if you're a Republican, that you went to church with someone who was a Democrat, you lived in a neighborhood with someone who was a Democrat, you went hunting with someone who was a Democrat, you were in the Elks Club or Knights of Columbus with someone who was a Democrat. It goes back to a time where if I were to ask you if you were a Republican or a Democrat, I would have to ask a follow-up question to find out if you were a liberal or a conservative. We've had this polarization that exists. It's a sorting. Again, it's these kind of things that are the results of, human action, not human design. People have chosen, in a way, to live in this kind of world. And I'm wondering if, people will try to find their way back to these civic institutions, try to find their way back to their churches, try to find their way back to places where you can be with other human beings as human beings.
People like the identity of being on this online community with other Republicans, other Democrats, other conservatives or liberals. But even while you're in that online community that you think you feel an attachment to, those people are thousands of miles away from you, and you have no actual personal sense of community. I think it's really fascinating, because on the one hand you feel you gravitate more to this group identity online, but at the same time you're farther away from the people who live next door to you.
We want to know what you think about this. Give us a call, 312-642-5600, or text DA to 64636 to share your thoughts with us. Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
The Army National Guard is offering up to a $20,000 enlistment bonus and other tuition benefits to qualified candidates, including new recruits and those with prior military service. Already received your education or are currently in school? You may be eligible for up to $50,000 in student loan repayment. Get the education you need to land the career you've always wanted. Learn more about the many benefits that come with serving part-time in the Army National Guard. Visit NationalGuard.com today. Sponsored by the Illinois National Guard.
What if every time you went out, you could cash in? Now with the Capital One Saver Card, you earn 4% cash back on dining and entertainment. Like learning more about each other on your first date. You play the oboe? Or discovering they can't hit the high notes at your favorite karaoke bar. No matter your reason for going out, now you have 4 more. Introducing the new Saver Card from Capital One. Earn 4% on dining and 4% on entertainment. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Capital One Bank, USA, N.A.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's actually really been helping my system and my lupus and my gastro problems. So I'm actually very happy with the product.
Acid reflux is pretty much under control. That's why I keep taking it.
I have noticed, I'm sleeping better since I started taking the Balance of Nature and all the other things I'm doing.
I can't believe how wonderful your product is. I listened to you guys on the radio for years and years and years, and I listened to all the testimonials. I go, well, it's probably time to give it a try, and I've been just happy as can be ever since.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Everyone's doing it, and everyone's making money at it, except you. You're losing business to your online competitors, and you just don't know how to get in the game. Where do you even go for the information on how to get started? You need Salem Surround. Give us a moment, and we'll offer you a free analysis of your digital marketing effectiveness, even if you have none. And we'll suggest methods that could dramatically increase your sales coming out of this season. We can design and implement all your online marketing under one roof, give you monthly reports on results, and instantly move your dollars to the most effective areas of your online advertising and sales. Social marketing, geofencing, web search enhancement, event targeting, and more. Now, there are no limitations on where you can reach customers with Salem Surround, increasing sales dramatically. Learn more. Go online to surroundchicago.com. That's surroundchicago.com. Salem Surround, connecting you with new customers. A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. Stay warm this winter. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for winter storms and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy, talking about whether or not you would get rid of some of the technological advances of the last 15 years, whether we're better off as a society for having them. Kind of things we're sentimental about. It's Christmas time, You start feeling sentimental.
I remember when I was really into nostalgia.
When was that? Was it a good time?
Yeah, from what I remember, yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, you can separate some of these things out. We're definitely better for some of them. We're not necessarily better for others. Netflix streaming is a pretty phenomenal thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
don't you think?
And I think that I think like movie theaters eventually will go the way of the dodo, and I don't know if that's something that you'd be sentimental about, but I don't mind it. But then again, that's like the loss
yes
of community.
Yes and no. It depends. So there are certain movies that I think necessitate the kind of large screen experience that you're only going to be able to get at a movie theater. No matter how big televisions get, and you can buy a 75-inch television now, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it's not the same experience. And unless everybody is going to be of a certain wealth level that you're able to install a home theater, in your house and get that same kind of big screen feel, it's not going to be the same. And I'm thinking, this is just, since we said Netflix, and Alfonso Cuarón, one of my favorite directors, has this new incredibly dull movie out on Netflix called Roma. His previous one of his previous films was Gravity, which kind of was necessitated to be seen on the big screen to fully appreciate the work itself. So yeah, I think in a certain way I will feel a little nostalgic for the theater going away, to the extent that it does.
Right. I think it'll be like how drive-in movie theaters right now are like dinosaurs. Or you could find one every so often, and it's kind of cool.
Where I grew up in Belleville, Illinois, the Skyview Drive-In still there.
You can stumble on one every once in a while. I think that'll be what a movie theater is like at some point. I don't know when that will be. And you bring up a great point. I remember I watched the movie Dunkirk, which needs to be seen on a big screen.
Yes, absolutely.
I watched it on my iPhone on a plane. Because I was like, I've wanted to see this for a while, and I watched it on my phone. I thought it was good, but not great. And then I realized I should have watched that on a giant screen with surround sound or something. Because the whole experience, half the experience was ruined from watching it on my phone. So that's a good point. But
I think the way it will actually come out being is the way IMAX theaters, not necessarily the way they are now, but the way they were 10 years ago. Where an IMAX theater was something you had to specifically seek out, in the way that regular movie theaters used to dot the land.
Yeah.
And most of them are still there. They've had to change their business model. So to the point of these things can change, right? They've become these places now where there was a bar at the one that I took my son to see the Spider-Man movie yesterday. There was a bar at the movie theater. The food options have changed dramatically. It's still overpriced, but are you paying for that experience? And if you're fine paying for that experience, okay, that's the kind of thing that you're seeking out.
I think I might, maybe overly so, but I just really trust the consumer to the point where even if these models aren't great, then they would fail. Like one that I think will eventually come once sports leagues relinquish their hold on them is streaming of sports directly to your computer. And I think that's a great idea. But if it's not, it'll fail because the consumers reject it.
We'll come back to movies in a minute. Since we've been talking about Christmas, we'll get into that whole Christmas movie debate because Joe's wrong about something, and I want to make that abundantly clear. But first, before we do that, we'll go into the newsroom with Perry Williams.
Good morning. It's 39 degrees and cloudy in Chicago at 6:30 on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Perry Williams. There is new information about the case of a woman's body found in a garbage can on Chicago's South Side. Police have charged Robert Wallace with first-degree murder and say the victim was his mother, 67-year-old Betty Wallace. The older Wallace was found with multiple stab wounds and other injuries on Monday night in the Morgan Park neighborhood. In sports news, the Bears still have a shot at a first-round bye. The Monsters of the Midway need to beat Minnesota on Sunday and have the Rams lose to San Francisco. The Bears have won 8 of its past 9 games and have already locked up the NFC North title. This news report is sponsored by Accountemps. Finding highly skilled accounting and finance professionals can be a challenge. Accountemps can help. With Accountemps' extensive network of accounting and finance contractors, you can be sure to find the right person for your exact hiring needs. Visit Accountemps.com to learn more. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. AM 560 news time is 6:32. How bad is traffic? We'll have the answer in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
The world is a dangerous place. Often, it's a very ugly place, and you come here to try to help make sense of it all. We give you the latest news, help you understand what it means and why it's important. But there are bigger questions you need answered about life and death, faith and hope. And that's where our sister station, AM 1160, Hope for Your Life, comes in. When you're looking for answers to life's biggest questions, give them a listen at AM 1160 or online at 1160hope.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I've been on it now. It's got to be close to 5 or 6 years. But I've never run out, and I like to have a little cushion if I want to double up. If I feel a little, like I need a little extra, I don't have to worry about like being stingy with it. I'm 54 years old, but anyway, 9 years ago, almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years this December 6th. And I went to work one day. I went and I thought I had a sinus headache for a few days, but I had a massive brain aneurysm, hemorrhage of the brain, and a stroke right at work. And I was on my deathbed. I was on a respirator in a coma for 35 days in the brain trauma unit of the hospital in New Jersey. And the only reason they even tried to save my life was because I was 44 at the time. And 3 months later, I came home in a wheelchair. I had double vision. I had to learn to walk again, to speak again. 1 and 1 is 2, write the alphabet. My body's been through a lot. And, I used to be in bed for most of the, if I went out and did a little something, I'd come home, I'd be in bed. Now I'm up by like 5:30 in the morning, and I go to the gym. I do shopping. I cook. I have energy all day. I'm talking to you now. I sound pretty wired. And I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I feel great. Overall, my whole outlook, just feeling, my mental aspect, everything is better. And when I came home, I was on 17 medications, not 17 pills, 17 medications, maybe 40 pills a day. Now I'm down to 3 very, very, very low dose pills, and I'm hoping to get off of everything here. Where I was to what I am now, it's unbelievable. I'm so blessed. So you're speaking to literally a miracle.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
At 6:33 from the AM 560 Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
Careful on the roads this morning. A number of crashes reported in the western suburbs. There's one in Carroll Stream, County Farm at Vale. This is north of North Avenue. And there's a crash on County Farm in Winfield at the intersection with Geneva Road. Wadsworth, the stall on Wadsworth Road west of Delaney. And Kenosha, the closure of Green Bay Road continues in Kenosha between 158, that's 52nd Street in Kenosha, and 60th. That's due to a fire. Edens, Kennedy expressways are just fine. No significant delays to report on the Eisenhower or the Stevenson. Inbound Ryan Tight Roosevelt to the Burn Circle. Just a 1 or 2 minute delay. I-57, Fisher Ford looking good. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
More Chicago's Morning Answer comes your way next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
Occasional rain, breezy and mild today, high 50. Shower this evening, otherwise clouds and breezy, low 44. Cloudy and breezy, turning colder tomorrow afternoon. Some flurries late in the day or evening. High tomorrow at 44. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Your next news update at 7 o'clock. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Now more of Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Listen to podcasts of Joe Walsh and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy. Give us a call at 312-642-5600 or text DA to 64636. Friend of the station, friend to many of us, Guy Benson, over the Christmas break, over the weekend, asked people to rank these 3 movies, Christmas movies. A Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, and It's a Wonderful Life. Your hot take, Joe.
If I'm ranking those, Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, It was Wonderful, I would go maybe in that order, or Christmas Vacation. I don't think there are a lot of outstanding Christmas movies. We talked about this a little bit off air. A Christmas Story, I think TBS made it overrated by playing it for 72 consecutive hours. Christmas Vacation is entertaining. It's a Wonderful Life is like, it's a nostalgia factor. It's a quote unquote classic, so I think that's why people like it.
Yeah,
it's not.
Well, that's the funny thing about
movie, though.
That's the funny thing about It's a Wonderful Life is that it's kind of an accident of history. That the only reason that it became so ubiquitously played was because it had bombed when it debuted, and TV stations could air it for next to nothing. So since it was clearly a Christmas movie, they used it as a lot of filler programming between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it becomes, retrospectively viewed as this classic, which, as my friend Emily Zanotti likes to point out, the big problem with that movie is, the supposedly great redemptive story. What actually is happening is George Bailey is creating a subprime mortgage crisis within the town of Bedford Falls.
Yeah, and that's.
That's
not as heartwarming of a.
That's what I would like. So all of this great transformation that he goes about, having, leads him to create a investment program for housing that people can't possibly afford, that is going to eventually result in people losing a lot of money and foreclosures. I want the follow-up movie, like the dystopian future follow-up movie to It's a Wonderful Life. Like, it's a not-so-wonderful subprime mortgage crisis.
Less heartwarming, but maybe more entertaining, more realistic.
Yeah. Like for people that like cinema that is closer to realism these days. Yeah, I think that is what you're going to get out of It's a Wonderful Life. Also, let's note Jimmy Stewart, I think, is possibly the first actor, and there are a couple of guys out there who fall into this category. The first actor I can think of who played himself playing characters.
Yeah. And now, it's come so far on that road that now we have a president that's playing a character who played himself.
Yeah, playing the president.
Yeah.
I saw, as I mentioned, the Into the Spider-Verse movie yesterday, and Nicolas Cage provides the voice of the noir Spider-Man, which is one of the best parts of the movie. It's Nicolas Cage doing crazy Nicolas Cage stuff, but in a limited enough role that it is not overwhelming. But Nicolas Cage is another one of those examples of he's playing Nicolas Cage playing people. Bruce Campbell is another example. Plays Bruce Campbell playing a character. Bruce Campbell's character in Burn Notice, great show if you've never watched it, was Bruce Campbell playing Bruce Campbell playing a former CIA agent. And it's great and it's entertaining. So no, hard pass on It's a Wonderful Life. I think I would go with that. I had a friend push back on the idea that A Christmas Story is even a good movie at all. And for me, the way that I explained it to this person is, and this is somebody, younger than me who grew up on the East Coast. And one, I think if you grow up in the Midwest, there's a bit more of a connection to that film because it's supposedly takes place in Indiana, I believe, but it's actually in Cleveland where the house is and where all this was filmed. Or maybe I got that backwards. But there's this Midwest connection, and there's also the kid in that movie was like my mom's generation. My mom had a similar experience of my grandfather deciding, it was actually on Thanksgiving, of, we're not going to have to cook. We're going to go out for dinner. And he didn't bother to make reservations. The only place they could end up was a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
So there's, I at least have that one generation of separation, or that parent to child generation separation, where I could kind of be shepherded through that movie again before TBS turned it into a marathon thing, which I agree does lessen the enjoyment, at least in my book.
So what is because you just kind of mildly crapped on two movies, what is your favorite Christmas film?
The ultimate Christmas movie, which is Die Hard.
See, now this conversation online about is Die Hard a Christmas movie has become is a hot dog a sandwich of movie debates, which started out as something funny and then just became too much. Not only I don't want to get too much into this because I hate the idea that I'm even participating in the conversation, but not only is it not really a Christmas movie,
it is,
unless everything's a Christmas movie. It's an above average movie. It's fine. It's all right. It's entertaining.
It's a very good movie.
It's fine.
It's a very good movie made mostly by the villain being one of the best movie villains of all time.
Sure. Yeah.
Hans Gruber, especially Alan Rickman's first movie role. Heck of a job for his first movie role. And of course, it's a Christmas movie. Christmas is central to the plot. The whole idea is the party that opens the door for the terrorists and Hans Gruber to come in and hijack it is a Christmas party, which typically, I don't know what offices you have worked in. Most people do not have these kinds of, you're there in this gathering any real time of the year other than Christmas. It is the one that is guaranteed. The Hans Zimmer score works Christmas music themes into the score. And the biggest tip-off, and I can say this having recognized it from the fact that I am married to a woman who really enjoys Hallmark and Lifetime Christmas movies.
I do too.
One of the, I knew, I could tell, I could sense this, Joe. You're a sensitive soul, and I know you like them because they're always happy and they always end with a fine couple getting together at the end. One of the keys, in addition to the fact that, it happens during Christmas, the centrality of Christmas to the plot, is one of the characters will have a Christmas-adjacent name, and John McClane's wife's name is Holly.
Okay, that point is valid, and that's something I thought through. I'm going to push back a little bit. Is the 2006 romp The Breakup, starring Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston, a baseball movie? Because the two meet at a baseball game at the start of the movie. It's central to the plot. They wouldn't have gotten together without the baseball game. It takes place in the summer, which is around the time that people go to baseball games. Vince Vaughn is frequently watching Cubs games broadcast by Len Casper during the movie, with rare little cameo appearances from such Cubs greats as Will Omen. I believe Ben Grieve is in a scene. Is that a baseball movie? Because baseball is central to the plot. That's the Pandora's box that you've kind of.
I haven't seen the movie. I have no desire
it's
to.
It's an American classic. Right up there with It's a Wonderful Life.
It sounds to me more that this is baseball adjacent. That one.
That's the name of my punk band.
Yeah, yes. I remember seeing them open for Green Day back when. That couldn't have been possible. You're too young for that. Could they have met somewhere else? Yes. Could he be watching a different sport? Yes. Could any of those things be said about the centrality of Christmas to the plot of that movie? In Die Hard, no.
Needless to say, Die Hard to me is an above-average movie. It's good. It's entertaining. It's something like when I hear too much of something being phenomenal, when I don't think it's that, it kind of makes me like the thing less. Forrest Gump's another movie like that where I hear too much about it and I think it's a fine movie.
Yeah,
to the point
also
where
hasn't aged well.
I aggressively don't like it. It's for NFL fans out there. There was this debate several years ago about, is Joe Flacco, the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, now backup quarterback, is he elite because he won a Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. Joe Flacco's a fine quarterback. He's good. Mm-hmm. But because he became elite, people started saying he sucked because they were impulsive to the idea that he's something more than he is. Die Hard's a Joe Flacco movie to me. That's the hill I'm gonna die on.
Well, as we talked about earlier, that it's one of our hopes that people can find their way back to communities that make them feel better about themselves, that give them a greater sense of grounding in the glory of this world. That is my New Year's and Christmas hope for you, Joe, that you can make your way back to some kind of a community that will allow you to recognize Die Hard for the amazing, glorious, wonderful, pretty much perfect movie that it is. But you're welcome to call and tell me I'm wrong about that. 312-642-5600. You can text DA to 64636 to be a part of the program. Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in for Dan and Amy.
Main ventilation duct, and bingo. This one's like a regular, normal Christmas. Eggnog, Christmas tree, little turkey, but no, I had to crawl around the tin can.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Keith Peters in for Lou Dobbs. Pre-Christmas retail sales rose over 5%. The FBI and European officials are cracking down on money laundering. Those stories next.
I needed new blinds. I knew I could save a ton of money if I put them in myself, but I was nervous about measuring right and then installing them. That's why I went to Blinds.com. I'd heard their ads on the radio, how they're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. But I still had to install them. So I called in my design consultant, Carla. She talked me through it all, from picking the right blinds to installing them. Plus, the online design consultation was free. Samples were free. Shipping was free. My home looks perfect.
Start out the new year with brand new custom window treatments from Blinds.com.
cellular shades, wood blinds, Roman shades, and more. Whatever you have in mind, they can help you reimagine one room or your entire home for less than almost any other home improvement. Go to Blinds.com now through January 15th for a guaranteed 25% off with promo code SHUTTERS. Get a guaranteed 25% off with promo code SHUTTERS. Rules and restrictions apply.
Americans pushed holiday sales to a 6-year high between November 1st and Christmas Eve. A MasterCard tracking survey says retail sales rose 5.1% and online sales jumped by over 19%. Total sales during the holiday season topped $850 billion, another sign of consumer confidence in the economy under President Donald Trump. The Federal Bureau of Investigation says it is now grappling with an alarming number of money laundering schemes. The FBI and international law enforcement agencies, including Interpol, have stepped up efforts to identify people using their personal bank accounts to move money around for criminals and drug cartels. So far, 168 arrests have already been made in Europe for so-called money mules. Please join us for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. We have so many wonderful clients, but with me today is someone very special.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA. We are a nonprofit student organization battling the bias and indoctrination in America's high schools and colleges every day. We are on over 1,000 campuses and continue to grow. Precision Payroll has been there since day one and has helped us immensely as we grew to a truly national organization. No one in the business is better than Precision Payroll. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Charlie. What you're doing is so important. To learn more and help, go to tpusa.com. That's tpusa.com.
And for your business, let Precision Payroll make a difference for you. Call Tom at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or online at precisionpayroll.com.
Thank you, Charlie.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I thought I had a sinus headache for a few days, but I had a massive brain aneurysm, hemorrhage of the brain, and a stroke. And I was on my deathbed. I was on a respirator in a coma for 35 days. And 3 months later, I came home in a wheelchair. I had double vision. I had to learn to walk again, to speak again. 1 and 1 is 2, write the alphabet. You know, if I went out and did a little something, I'd come home, I'd be in bed. Now I'm up by like 5:30 in the morning, and I go to the gym. I do shopping. I cook. I have energy all day. I mean, I feel great. Overall, my whole outlook, just feeling, my mental aspect, everything is better.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
I'm Dan Proft.
And I'm Amy Jacobson.
And if you're a small business owner or you make the marketing or advertising decisions for a business, then listen up.
Once again, our annual Food for the Poor campaign is underway to raise money for children suffering from poverty in Haiti. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide food and clean water to several thousand children this year.
And here's how your business can be a part of this. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor. Just make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor, and AM 560 will give you 40 60-second commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
That's the best advertising deal in all of Chicago. To take advantage of this deal, just call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. One more time, 847-472-8951.
Here's some great news. If you missed the deadline to sign up for health insurance, or more importantly, if you signed up for a plan that you're just not happy with, you still have a choice. It's called Medi-Share. Medi-Share is a Christian healthcare sharing program that's been around for 25 years, and they have hundreds of thousands of members all across the country. And get this, over the years, Medi-Share members have shared more than $1 billion of each other's medical bills. Best of all, you could save a lot of money with Medi-Share. The typical savings for a family is about $500 a month. Your savings could be more or less, but think about what you could do with that extra money. Think you're stuck with a high-cost health plan that doesn't have a lot to offer? Well, think again. You can join MediShare anytime, so call them today and check it out. Here's the number to find out more, and there's no pressure. They're super easy to talk to. 844-41-BIBLE. That's 844-41-BIBLE. 844-41-BIBLE.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. Lots of people would have told you to abort that baby. You didn't do that. I know that was hard. I want you to know that no matter what, I know that you always did the best you knew how to do, and look how it turned out. Those are the touching words Oprah Winfrey used to say goodbye to her mother, who passed away on Thanksgiving Day this year. Look how it turned out indeed. Vernita Lee's daughter is now a billionaire, instantly identified the world over by the mere utterance of her first name. Oprah may not preach what her mom practiced, but thankfully more Americans are choosing Vernita Lee's example over her daughter's. In the last decade, abortions in the United States have declined 25%, according to the CDC. Even as secular humanism has poisoned so many American institutions, sacred and civic, prayer warriors, Planned Parenthood defectors, and the pregnancy centers who tend to families in crisis are winning hearts and minds. As we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, we should also celebrate that the culture of life is beating back cultural Marxism.
You probably don't realize this, but between you and your employer, you've contributed as much as 12.4% of your earnings to Social Security, and you've been doing this since your very first paycheck as a kid. Add it up over 40 or 50 years, and it could make your 401k contributions look like chump change. But there's one big problem. Claiming your Social Security benefits is complicated, confusing, and riddled with trapdoors. Hi, this is Tom Fortino. According to PBS and Boston University professor Lawrence Kotlikoff, the Social Security Handbook has 2,278 separate rules governing its benefits, and it has thousands upon thousands of explanations of those rules. Talk about a user's nightmare. Learn how you can help get what's yours. The answers are in our new reports on maximizing your Social Security benefit. It includes little-known strategies that could earn you tens of thousands of dollars more, even as much as $100,000 over your lifetime. This could be a game changer. Call right now to receive this information. 630-519-4742. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
AM 560. The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy. Call us 312-642-5600 or text DA to 64636. Joe, keeping with our conversation about things going away, you can thank Ohio Governor John Kasich for perhaps preventing something from going away for good. From National Review, Ohio Governor and former presidential candidate John Kasich this week signed a bill requiring elementary students to learn how to write in cursive, following over a dozen other states that have begun requiring cursive instruction for students who type on phones and computers more than they write by hand.
One of those states that they're following is actually Illinois, too. John Kasich, obviously, he's nationally known, so this kind of brings this to national news. But this is actually something that Illinois has adopted. State Representative Chris Welch from the western suburbs, Hillside area, introduced a bill, well, I want to say last year. It was a while ago, I think early 2017, to mandate cursive instruction all the way through high school. The bill was vetoed by Governor Bruce Rauner. The veto was overridden, and now cursive writing is mandated in Illinois public schools. I've heard a lot of people talk about this in Illinois too, and this has kind of been the response nationally. Is some people say, well, how are kids going to read the historical documents or sign their name? And to the latter point, people were learning cursive and signing their name in like 2nd and 3rd grade. It's fine. Mm-hmm. You can move on after that. Mm-hmm. Historical documents, you can Google those now. It is 2018. And this is an example of something. I cede some of your points on losing things that, whether for nostalgic reasons or for actual community value, you don't want to lose. And sometimes technological advances will hurt the community aspect of something or hurt the just your memory of something. But this is an example of people who don't understand the times, Chris Welch, John Kasich, who are just, this is completely backwards. The idea that you need to mandate cursive writing through high school because you don't want to lose cursive writing. It's so sad that it's going away. That's something I don't understand being nostalgic about necessarily, and the point where nostalgia is kind of hurting public policy and is just making bad bad decisions.
Let's keep in mind that these are unfunded mandates as well, right?
Yes.
So this is additional instruction that schools are going to have to engage in. The time, if nothing else, costs money.
Not only an unfunded mandate, in the bill that Welch introduced, it specifically said the cost to schools is unknown.
Yeah. Which good for them for finally recognizing some of the things that they make people do, that they make institutions do. They don't actually know what it will cost. Not so good that they didn't even try to figure it out. John Kasich, I just want to note, I appreciate a man with principles. So John Kasich, while governor of Ohio, has vetoed a bill that would ban abortion after 20 weeks. But we're going to have cursive instruction in school, and I appreciate a man willing to stand on principle like that. Cursive is going away to the extent that it is going away. I imagine students still need to learn how to sign their names in a way that is physical. I don't think that's ever going to completely go away unless we move to the kind of facial recognition or thumbprint recognition for everything, like your iPhone reading your face in order to open, which is not creepy at all. It's going away because the utility of it just doesn't exist in the same way that it used to. It's not like it's being actively destroyed. It's not like there are forces out there who are trying to kill cursive.
Anti-cursive lobby. The print lobby is coming out to end cursive writing. It's going away because we don't need it as much. You need to sign your name on a check. You need to sign your name on just like, a handful of things that you encounter in your daily life. But beyond that, it's just silliness. And you get it from a mope like Chris Welch or a mope like John Kasich that doesn't understand that.
Well, this is just so perfectly emblematic of the problem with schooling today. And I purposefully use that word. Schooling in differentiation from education, right? Because we have compulsory schooling. We don't have compulsory education. And just the same with cursive like this as with, this is the example that I use all the time of foreign language instruction. Decades now of research by experts tells us what? Where do children best learn foreign languages? Primary grades. Where did you take foreign languages when you were in school? Probably same as me, high school. Why? Because that's how we do it.
Yeah.
Why? Because that's how we've always done it. This is the mentality that government officials approach the idea of education with. That, we should keep doing things the way we've always done them. Why? Because that's how we've always done them. Well, does that work? No, it's how we've always done it.
Why is the school day 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. or something roughly around then?
Yeah, because that's how we've always done it. Because it's the descendant of an agrarian economy when you needed, you needed the hours in the evening for boys to work. You needed summers off for boys to be able to work the fields. That is the world that they're operating from with no real recognition that that's the world that they're actually operating from. So much more coming up on the program. In the next hour, we're going to talk to Rory Broomfield about the future of Brexit. He's going to come to us from across the pond and tell us, what does the vote of no confidence in Theresa May that failed mean? What kind of Brexit deal are they going to get? Later in the program, our colleague Vincent Caruso from Illinois Policy Institute will join us to talk about sin taxes. But before that, we go in to the news studio with Perry Williams.
He's back from Iraq and tweeting. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. One message about the wall, another about the troops. President Trump writing, "We have incredible people representing our country, people that know how to win." Well, those were troops in Germany cheering the commander-in-chief as he stopped there on his way back from Iraq, where he told the troops, "Great job beating back ISIS."
2 years ago, when I became president, they were a very dominant group. They were very dominant. Today, they're not so dominant anymore.
The president defended his decision that some Republicans in Congress have urged him to reconsider to pull U.S. troops out of Syria. The president promised a strong, deliberate, and orderly withdrawal. He again brought up his standoff with Democrats in Congress also.
Whatever it takes. I mean, we're going to have a wall. We're going to have safety.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, it's day 6 of the partial government shutdown, with 9 of 15 cabinet-level departments and dozens of agencies still unfunded. The House and Senate will meet in pro forma sessions today, but so far, no votes are scheduled, and there's no sign of a deal in the works to end the impasse over border wall funding. President Trump tweeted this morning, "Have the Democrats finally realize we desperately need border security and a wall on the southern border? And do the Dems realize that most of the people not getting paid are Democrats?" Dave.
Rachel, a cop killer still on the run in California. They're searching for a man who shot and killed Officer Ronil Singh at a traffic stop in Newman. Shortly after the suspected gunman bought alcohol at a convenience store, clerk Susanna Martinez rang it up.
I've known Officer Singh, and to know that his life was taken, minutes after me interacting with that person, it's hard.
The officer leaves a wife and a 5-month-old baby. It's going to be tough traveling parts of the Midwest today. Winter storm and blizzard warning stretch down from Minnesota to Kansas. Thunderstorms rolled through Texas so badly, they canceled a college football bowl game for the first time ever, the Boise State BC game. This is Fox News.
Good morning. It's 39 degrees and cloudy in Chicago at 7:02 on AM 560 The Answer, WIND Chicago. I'm Perry Williams. There's a plea being made to help find a missing UIC student. 18-year-old Shayla Ahmad was last seen on December 14th, and her family says she was dropped off by her parents at the Jefferson Park CTA station. Here's Shayla's mother.
You can come home when you're ready. Just try to call us and pahatid kami at tell us that you're safe.
Anyone with information about the teen's whereabouts is asked to call Chicago police. There's not going to be a Christmas mega millionaire in Illinois, but there could be an almost New Year's jackpot winner. The Illinois Lottery yesterday said no one matched all of the numbers in Tuesday's Mega Millions drawing. That means tomorrow's drawing will be worth at least $348 million. Go ahead and throw out the boxes and wrapping paper, but communities across Illinois are saying they don't throw out the Christmas tree. The weekend begins Christmas tree recycling in most communities. Local leaders say old Christmas trees can be used for everything from mulch to new habitats in lakes and ponds, and says it's much better than letting them end up in a landfill. In sports news, the Blackhawks are back from Christmas break tonight. They welcome the Wild to the United Center. The Hawks had their 3-game winning streak snapped with a 6-3 loss to Florida at home on Sunday. The Blackhawks have 32 points, 7 out of a wild card spot in the West. This news report is sponsored by Jersey Mike's Subs. The sub above difference is legendary. With Jersey Mike's, throwing an unforgettable party is easy. You supply the perfect guest, they'll supply the perfect subs. Jersey Mike's, be a sub above. AM 560 news time is 7:04. Where are the cars this morning? We'll have the answer in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
The world is a dangerous place. Often, it's a very ugly place, and you come here to try to help make sense of it all. We give you the latest news, help you understand what it means and why it's important. But there are bigger questions you need answered about life and death, faith and hope. And that's where our sister station, AM 1160, Hope for Your Life, comes in. When you're looking for answers to life's biggest questions, give them a listen at AM 1160 or online at 1160hope.com.
What a year. Your home improvement to-do list still isn't done. But hey, at least you still have time to get the Ford vehicle you've always wanted. Just get to the final days of our holiday sales event. Stop by your local Ford dealer today. It's where you'll find our best offers of the season on Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. So, see you sometime between now and January 2nd. Ford, built for the holidays. And now, for a limited time, you can bring home a new F-150 with 0% financing for 72 months, only at your Ford dealer. Not all buyers will qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $1,389 per month per $1,000 finance, regardless of down payment, is available on 18 model year F-150, excludes Raptor. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 1/2/19. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and complete details.
Do your gums bleed? Have you been told that you have gum disease? Are you missing teeth? The doctors at PerioCare can help. This is Dr. Russell Sakala, and I am a periodontist. I specialize in the treatment of gum disease to save teeth and dental implants to replace missing teeth. Did you know that gum disease has been linked to a variety of other health problems, including heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and increases the risk of premature birth? The good news is the doctors at PerioCare are specialists in the area of treating gum disease and the placement of dental implants. We treat the whole patient and use the most contemporary treatment options that best fit your condition. Our primary goal is to restore your dental health and replace missing teeth to maintain your general health. I'm a veteran and I support veterans. PerioCare offers a discount for those who have served. PerioCare, where a healthy smile means a healthy body. For a consultation, call 773-631-0344 or visit us at periocare.com.
Great news! There's a quick way you could save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price, and it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save.
At 7:05 from the AM 560 Traffic Center, here's Jim Telemonte.
In Brookfield, Ogden Avenue remains closed. Raymond and Maple due to a crash involving a jackknife semi. Kenosha, there's a closure of Green Bay Road, 60th and 52nd. That's 158. That's due to a fire. Collision in Mundelein at 83 and Town Line. There's one in Winfield, County Farm, Geneva. Eden's clear. Kennedy delay-free at the moment. No problems. Report on the Eisenhower. Inbound Stevenson, traffic sluggish. Ashland to the Rhine, looking at about a 1-minute delay. Inbound Rhine has a 2-minute delay from 18th to the Burns Circle. All clear on I-57, Bishop Ford, the Skyway and Lakeshore Drive. Tollways are trouble-free. No issues to report in Northwest Indiana. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
More Chicago's Morning Answer coming your way next. Now, official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
Breezy and mild, occasional rain today, high 50. A shower this evening, otherwise clouds and breezy tonight, low 44. Cloudy and breezy for tomorrow, turning colder in the afternoon, flurries, and a high 44. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Your next news update is at 7:30. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Morning, Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser filling in today for Dan and Amy. Be a part of the program with us by giving us a call at 312-642-5600 or text DA to 64636 to join us for the program. You may have heard in the news break, President Trump visiting the troops in Iraq. Even when it seems somewhat inadvertent, doing what he seems to have a talent for, which is making particularly people in the media make fools of themselves. You had a number of people trying to dunk on him, saying that, like, this is the first time since, I guess, the dawn of time or whatever, that the president didn't go visit the troops at Christmas time. Actually, Christmas time being the exact phrasing, which I thought was interesting because if you actually know what you're talking about, at least with our current definition, Christmas time not only seems to begin before Thanksgiving, but you have the 12 days of Christmas, which are actually from Christmas to the Epiphany. So there was plenty of time in there. And of course, lo and behold, President Trump turns up in Iraq, visiting the troops there. And as somebody pointed out on Twitter, it's a great, if you're on Twitter, which I don't recommend you should be.
It's one of the technological advances that you would advise against of that list that you
going back to that conversation of all of those things. If you told me one thing to get rid of from that entire list that we would just wipe out of existence, Twitter is easily the easiest pick, at least for me.
You were on it and reading.
Nonetheless, here I am, seeing, people saying, tweeting these articles about Trump not visiting. And of course, then he shows up and they manage to own themselves by having tried to dunk on him for all of this. And it was Soledad O'Brien, former, I believe, CNN correspondent, who had said, you see, the shaming of him works. And former Fox News anchor Brit Hume's response was, yes, exactly. Trump saw these tweets, traveled back in time to fly over to Iraq to be there. Great take there. And someone pointed out, these trips are planned weeks, if not months in advance.
The president.
Right. Yeah. It's the president. You're taking the president of the United States into a forward area, into what is ostensibly still a war zone. And it's just the level of stupidity and people losing their minds that I have a hard time now, going on the third year of Donald Trump being president, have a hard time tolerating.
It's tiresome. You and I have talked about this before, and I think on other programs, that there's the anti-Trump camp, and I'm no big fan of the president, but there's also this anti-Trump camp, and you can kind of have your feet in both camps, where you don't really care for the president that much, but the people who are making every decision he makes, World War III, those people are just as annoying, if not more so annoying. So you kind of have your foot in both camps. And that's kind of, I think, where you and I and many other people often fall.
Yeah.
Where you're just tiresome of the news cycle of everything is the apocalypse that he does. And that's where, that's where a lot of Americans are, really.
Yeah, people without a good sense of history. That's a good lead into the story from Mediaite. Joe Scarborough, if you are familiar with Joe, host of Morning Joe on MSNBC.
And I'll never forgive him, because if I ever hosted my own morning show, that's the name that I would want, and it's ruined. It's over.
It's a tragedy. Joe Scarborough opened the Boxing Day episode of Morning Joe. Happy Boxing Day to everybody in Canada listening to us. Yesterday was Boxing Day, of course. With one of his signature long-form monologues. Okay, first of all, I've never watched Morning Joe, or if I have, it was because I was a captive audience somewhere. Does he really do this? Is this like...
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea.
God help anybody who actually has to suffer through one of those. Signature long-form monologues that assess the current chaos surrounding the presidency of Donald Trump. In a 10-minute essay, systematically and dispassionately outlining what Scarborough sees as recent administrative, economic, legal, and foreign policy issues that have embroiled the White House in the last 2 weeks of a troubled 2018. The big thrust of all of this is that he said Trump is on track to be the worst president of all time. And, Joe, as you just mentioned, this kind of ignorance of history problem, that is incandescently stupid, skull-poundingly idiotic, because, and I will give you at least 2 examples of people who have no real frame of history. James Buchanan, the president that preceded Abraham Lincoln through his inaction at best and his deviousness at worst, basically left the country with no choice but to fight a bloody civil war.
Which is one of the worst things to happen to this country, right after 9/11.
Every single person who died in that war was an American. It was one of the deadliest wars that we've ever participated in. Again, Trump is not even into his 3rd year yet. James Buchanan, certainly worse. And then there's Woodrow Wilson,
who's my least favorite.
Don't get me really started on Woodrow Wilson, because I go back before, Trump was even president. If you remember the Bush years, all the ridiculous stuff that people used to say about George W. Bush was almost all of it true of Wilson. But, because this is where one of these, you're in one of these weird positions. So Princeton, the kind of PC cultural freakouts that you get on college campuses where, buildings named after people who are, and I hate this word, problematic, need to be renamed. And at Princeton, the government school is the Woodrow Wilson School. They're going through this freakout of like, well, should we rename it? And part of the reason was because undeniably the most racist president of the 20th century.
100%, yeah.
Resegregated the civil service, instituted a policy of including photographs with job applications to work for the government, so that if you couldn't quite tell from the name if the person was black, you could see from the photograph that they were, and you could then not give them the job. Undeniably, most racist president of the 20th century. And they now want to rename the school there. And this is like the famous line about the Iran-Iraq war. It's a shame both sides can't lose. It's like, yeah, the idea of memorializing Woodrow Wilson with, a elite school at Princeton, where he was a professor, president, I believe.
He was president of the
Yes.
university, yeah.
The first academic to be president of the United States. of memorializing him is disgusting. But at the same time, this, purge everything problematic from our history movement is also idiotic. So it's a shame that both sides can't lose with all of that. But the lack of a historical knowledge to be able to make this idiot, he's on track to be the worst one. What the heck does that mean?
Right. He's on track to be one of the best ones, too.
No,
he's on track to be an average one.
Yeah, it's like, is he going to, in my opinion, is he probably going to be, on the lesser than average side of presidents? Probably. He has a chance to be on the upper,
He's on track to be president. That's the thing.
To be one of, 45 people who've been president of the United States, and we'll only be able to fairly judge his legacy decades from now. That is something for the history books to determine, not for Joe Scarborough being a moron on his program to determine.
Well, here's the thing. So I think people have really small context for history, but a big part of this is, to go back to our discussion from the last hour, you have all this information piling in, and you can make takes in real time throughout the day with your favorite website, twitter.com. And that's not something you don't have all this information piling in during Woodrow Wilson's presidency, or especially not during James Buchanan's presidency, just to name those two again, where now you hear everything that's going on with the president. And I think, it's definitely intensified under Trump, and it's the worst it's been under Trump with all these takes coming out, all these worst president ever, blah, blah, blah. But the last three presidents, you've heard some variation of this is the worst president either of our lifetime or from their political opponents, or the worst president ever. You heard some conservatives say that Barack Obama was the worst president ever, or the worst president of our lifetimes. You heard people say that about George Bush. You heard George Bush was a traitor, was Keith Olbermann.
Bush Hitler.
The Keith Olbermann famous rant where he said to shut the hell up to George Bush.
He's a fascist.
He's a fascist. That's what I was looking for. So
Which is truly one of those Rorschach terms that you throw it out there to mean whatever you want it to mean. It's in the Orwellian sense.
Yeah,
it means that of which I do not approve.
And character comparisons to Hitler are starting to become like that, which is really not appropriate at all. But you hear some variation of all these takes under Trump, under Obama, under Bush, and I think a lot of that has to do with your just access to information now, and the access to cable news and takes on Twitter, where you're getting all this polarization, and it's not even based on ideas. Look at the Syria withdrawal. You have people on the left who should have been, 15 years ago would have been applauding the decision to withdraw from a country in the Middle East, who are criticizing it just based on the process of pulling out of Syria. Not the should we stay or should we not, just the process. He didn't consult with his generals. I think Barack Obama did somewhat of the same thing with Iraq, and I applaud both of them because I support the policy. And these are just kind of the opinions that you're getting are so lowbrow, such low-hanging fruit.
Noam Chomsky was critical of Trump withdrawing troops from Syria. The man who has made most of his career complaining irrationally about American empire is opposed to withdrawing American troops from Syria. It just demonstrates, even, Howard Dean, it took a matter of minutes for Howard Dean to make a pronouncement about, Trump withdrawing troops from Syria. This is a horrible mistake. It's going to, you can't possibly do this. To find Howard Dean only 2 or 3 years prior saying, we shouldn't have troops in Syria. The willingness of people to calibrate their positions based on somebody, whoever is in the White House at the moment, whatever they're saying, is just so incredibly frustrating that nobody can be, if not at least, intellectually consistent, because consistency, I think, is a much overrated value. If the facts on the ground change, your opinion should change. When the facts change, my opinion changes. What do you do, sir? People just...
Well, I was actually excited.
Will only calibrate themselves to what partisan side that they're on. And this is the problem with some Trump supporters too, is that everything is done in defense of one person. And it is all leading to this just incredibly stupid moment we're having that I think is only going to get stupider.
I was actually excited because of this reason when Trump came into office, because I didn't believe that he was going to be this guy who's non-interventionist in want to end the wars in the Middle East. I'm glad he's following through with it on Syria, but I kind of assumed he would be more hawkish, just based on the people he was surrounding himself with, and based on the fact that
John Bolton is an advisor in the White House.
And I saw Obama become more of a hawk when he took office. I just assumed that every president was going to become more of a hawk, so I didn't really believe him. So I was excited for the return of the anti-war left that was around from 2000 to 2008. I thought they were going to come back, and instead we have this hawkish left that kind of developed under Obama that's still around. And it's just frustrating to see.
Maybe this is the beginning of some kind of bizarre political realignment. I mean, it's, these news cycles come at us so fast, it's almost impossible for us to really get a good grip on it, because Joe Scarborough can't even get a good grip on something for which there's 200 plus years of history for him to evaluate, and thinks Trump is somehow going to be the worst president of all time, which is just moronic. You cannot enjoy the guy, and I don't particularly, and still think that is just a stupid opinion. We want to know what you think. Give us a call, 312-642-5600, or text us, text DA, to 64636. Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser, in today for Dan and Amy.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I had cancer. I have fibromyalgia, I have nerve damage and fatigue, I have thalassemia, I'm hypoglycemic. So my life since cancer, I've had to learn how to live with it. But starting Balance of Nature, I felt it the first month. I felt different. It made such a difference that now I wake up, my head feels clearer, I have more energy. Very rarely does my body cramp up anymore. It's the best thing. It's just amazing. I don't know what to say. I just would not be what I am today if I didn't start Balance of Nature.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
I have the perfect Christmas or any other occasion gift for just about everybody on your list. I suggest the MyPillow Holiday 4-pack offer. You can get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows plus free shipping, all for the normal price of 1 premium MyPillow. Think about that for a second. You can give 1, 2, 3, or even 4 gifts, all for the price of 1. Or if you still don't have a MyPillow for yourself, keep 1 and gift the rest. And the money-back offer is extended through March 1st. Not only that, but you can still get 30% off everything, including the MyPillow mattress topper and pet beds that you've heard me rave about. Just be sure to use the promo code Amy to get the MyPillow 4-pack offer with free shipping and the 30% discount on everything else, including mattress toppers and pet beds. Visit MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. And don't forget to use the promo code Amy. That's MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Joe Walsh here to tell you about an opportunity for you to grow your business in 2019 and to make a difference this Christmas season. I'm talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide food and clean water to several thousand children this year in Haiti, where it's desperately needed. And your business can be a part of this. Become a Food for the Poor Business Benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 60-second commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you. Get on board with a great cause and this great radio station. Through the generosity of your business, you'll be helping 50 children. To take advantage of this deal, just call Anjanette Nikowski, 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. 8951. One more time, 847-472-8951.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chris Veldman of ServiceMaster DSI, the largest ServiceMaster franchise in the United States and a customer of Signature Bank. In our business, we respond to disaster, and we never know when disaster will strike, whether it's flooding in Louisiana or a house fire in Chicago. Not all banks understand that need for flexibility, but Signature Bank does. That's why we consider them so much more than a bank. They have been our business partner since 2006, when their 3 co-founders, Mick, Kevin, and Brian, started the bank. Signature Bank is a key part of our growth strategy at ServiceMaster DSI.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy. We're talking about some of the dumb freak out related to, well, anything Trump does at any given moment on any given day. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Joe in Franklin Park. Joe, good morning. Thanks for calling us.
Oh, you're welcome. This is like, your daughter's boyfriend. If you like them, he can't do no wrong. If you hate him, he can't do no right. If this guy was walking on water, Joe Scarborough would say, look, I can't swim.
Yeah. It's, and thanks for the call, Joe. Joe Scarborough, there's an irony in that, too, because go back to the beginning of this whole process, and Joe Scarborough was like one of the big boosters of Trump. He was one of these media people who is more than happy to give him all the airtime he wanted, all of that unearned media that Trump had that helped him, for lack of a better way to put it, hijack the process. All of that airtime he didn't have to pay for. Joe Scarborough was just as, indulgent of all of that. So it's...
He was one of the biggest ones, too.
He was
a complete 180. He was one of the biggest, I want to say direct Trump supporters, but the amount of airtime he gave him on his little show. Yeah, booster, yeah.
Even if you were like, and you can go back and find, again, one of the other dumbest people on Twitter, Matthew Iglesias at Vox, saying it is. I'll stand by it. Go back and find the tweets where he said that Marco Rubio is worse than Donald Trump is. And now compare that to the kind of culture of freak out that is going on at Vox.com.
I think back then they were doing that. He was making that statement based on policy, and he'd be right because a lot of the things Trump supported was more to the left. Like, he could find some agreement with the Democrat Party when he's just if you're just looking at his policies as a political figure.
Goes to what we were talking about just a minute ago of like Noam Chomsky recalibrating his foreign policy positions to the fact that he hates anything Donald Trump does. Another good example of some of the stupidity, a college student at University of Massachusetts Amherst was forced to remove a sign from her dorm window that read, "Expletive Nazis, you are not welcome here." And the justification for this is that the university has a highly promoted initiative on campus called Hate Has No Home at UMass, aimed at rejecting, quote, all forms of bigotry and hatred, according to this, apparently, hatred of Nazis.
Yeah, I mean, this girl needs to clearly, invite Nazi. I mean, they should meet a Nazi quota at the school, maybe.
Yeah.
In addition to whatever ethnic or all these diversity quotas you need to meet.
Start some kind of scholarship program.
Yeah, the Nazi scholarship.
It would be, it just, this amazing, just stupid time that we live in, the way that people can only come up with these visceral reactions where you actually are saying that, one, there aren't any Nazis there. There really aren't. This was in response to a swastika being drawn over a Star of David, which, of course, is dumb and vile. But the idea that that person is actually a real Nazi is as dumb as the idea that she needs to take the sign down from her window. Want you to be a part of the program with us today. Give us a call, 312-642-5600, or text DA to 64636 to be a part of the program. Right now, into the newsroom, Perry Williams.
Good morning. It's 41 degrees and cloudy in Chicago at 7:30 on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Perry Williams. 10 people are homeless after an early morning house fire on Chicago's southwest side. The blaze started on the second floor of a house near the corner of 18th and California. No one was hurt. The cause of the fire is under investigation. In other news, a deadly armed home invasion is under investigation on Chicago's southwest side. One person was killed and another was critically injured when the incident happened in the Clearing neighborhood yesterday afternoon. This neighbor is shocked at the news.
It's very unusual. It doesn't make no sense for something like that. Especially right after Christmas. How could something like this happen, It's a shame.
Police say a 38-year-old man and 23-year-old woman were both shot in the head and the man died. In other news, residents in Lake Station, Indiana have been dealing with a dirty-looking water issue for months, and they're hoping that issue is getting fixed. A computer glitch in the city's filtration plant is being blamed. Officials are planning a systemic flush of the water system. In sports news, Karl Anthony Towns racked up 20 points and 20 boards as the Timberwolves blasted the Bulls 119-94 last night at the UC. Bulls guard Zach LaVine, who led all scorers with 28 points, says they need to get things turned around.
You know, it's getting to the point where it's almost, you can't be trying to figure it out. So, you know, we have to get that down. And, you know, we got put in a predicament where we got, you know, a new system and stuff like that. So we have to almost buckle down and put upon ourselves to go out there and perform.
Lauri Markkanen posted 16 points for the Bulls, who fell to 9-26. This news report is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Great news, there's a quick way you could save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price, and it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save. AM 560 news time is 7:32. How bad is traffic? We'll have the answer in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Dennis Prager can always expect one thing from the left.
He feels that marriage equality is bad for straight couples. I've never said that in my life. You know how often things are made up about me by people on the left? Always. That's how often. That is the reason that they can be at peace with what they believe, because they make up things that they oppose.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, great coffee, period.
Pain drugs are addictive and have side effects. Get off the drugs, get rid of the pain. You don't need to live with chronic pain. Let's repeat, you do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, from an accident or pain that just develops. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the most respected and successful pain doctors in the world. Dr. Candido will work to find the source of your chronic pain and fix it. He teaches pain management around the world and has been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Okay, you get it. He's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off the pain medication and all of its side effects. You can get your life back. Drugs mask the pain, find the source, and fix it. Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain. You be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info at mypainchicago.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Sedeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. Without further ado.
Hi, I'm Patty Fritz, Precision Payroll's first employee. Yes, I'm real. I love working with my team and our clients and providing the best service and support. Hard to believe it's been that long. But when you love what you do, it's great. And I do love what we do at Precision Payroll. I didn't start for myself either.
That's right, Patty. I was there day one, and I'm still working with you today. Hi, I'm Jack Bishop, owner of Priority Logistics in Elk Grove, and Precision Payroll's first client. Yes, I'm real too. Precision Payroll has served us exceptionally for 35 years. We've grown together over the years, and I look forward to many more to come.
Jack and Patty, thank you both for making Precision Payroll of America a great company to do business with. To join our growing ranks of clients, visit us at precisionpayroll.com.
At 7:34 from the AM 560 Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
In Brookfield, eastbound Ogden is closed. Raymond, Maple due to a crash. Westbound has reopened. The left lane is still blocked for cleanup. Kenosha, Green Bay Road is shut down. 60th, 158 due to a fire. A collision at Wheaton, Geneva Road at Main Street. Residual delays on the CTA Red Line after police activity at North and Clybourne. Inbound Bishop Ford Freeway traffic jammed. Cottage Grove to the merge. There's a right lane blockage at 95th on the inbound Ryan due to a stall. 22 minutes, 8094 to Ryan. It's heavy. Ryan to 95th, farther north of Roosevelt to downtown Chicago. The other expressways and tollways are fairly light this hour. That's traffic. I'm Chip Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
More Chicago's Morning Answer comes your way next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
Occasional rain, breezy and mild today, high 50. Shower this evening, otherwise clouds and breezy, low 44. Cloudy and breezy, turning colder tomorrow afternoon. Some flurries late in the day or evening. High tomorrow at 44. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Your next news update is at 8 o'clock. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Now more of Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Let freedom ring this afternoon at 2 with Sean Hannity, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy. Thanks so much for listening. If you want to be a part of the program, you can give us a call at 312-642-5600 or text DA to 64636 to join us. A whole lot more coming up on the program today. We're going to talk to our colleague Vincent Caruso from the Illinois Policy Institute a little bit later about what is going on with sin taxes in Illinois. That's going to be something interesting. A whole lot going on in Illinois. I want to go back a moment to what we were talking about with technology. Here's a question. It's from The Economist. Is it time to automate politicians?
Go on.
A poll of British consumers conducted by software firm OpenText found that 1 in 4 Brits think robots would do a better job than humans as politicians. Years ago, The Muppet Show ran a segment mocking politicians for their stereotypical robotic behavior. Last April, a robot was nominated to run to be Tokyo's mayor, promising fair and balanced representation. It sounds more like a Black Mirror episode than it does actual serious proposal, but I just love the idea that, one, of course it's Tokyo. Of course it's Japan. Mm-hmm. And two, the promise of fair and balanced representation is just, I don't know why, it just strikes me as fun.
I'm one of the people that is not afraid of the robots coming, and I welcome any kind of technological advancement where you have self-driving cars. I think are safer than people. I think robotic umpires or computerized umpires would be better for baseball. Heck, let's even make the players robots. Let's just have everything be a simulation. I'm okay with that. And this is a situation where, much like self-driving cars, where accidents happen all the time based on human error, I think it could only be an improvement if human politicians are replaced by robots. I don't see how robots could do any worse.
We were talking about movies earlier. Have you seen the Terminator franchise?
I have, yeah. I'm familiar.
Yeah. So can I read this as perhaps liquidating humanity is now a proposal?
You could. That's one way you could look at it, or I could look at it as taking somebody like, let's just use the Illinois General Assembly as an example. Yeah. Most of us are living in Illinois. Taking a Mike Madigan, who I don't even know if he's actually human, so maybe he's not the best example, but the likes of Chris Welch from the western suburbs that we were talking about earlier.
Mr. Cursive Man.
Yeah, Mr. Cursive, replacing him with a robot, or replacing, some of you might not like J.B. Pritzker, replacing him with a robot. I think these advancements, I've seen the work of the Illinois General Assembly. I've seen it. I've written about it. I've talked about it on these airwaves. I am okay with a robot replacement. I don't see how it could be any worse. And I need, this is even accounting for the Terminator franchise.
Yeah, so mass extinction and death would be an improvement.
We're already on the way anyway. We all die at some point.
To that point, yes. Your top inbound versus outbound states, Illinois, once again leading the pack, roughly like 45,000 people left Illinois in the last year looking for more opportunity, more fertile ground in other states. They're going to a lot of our neighbors as well, so it dispels the constant suggestion, oh, it's the weather. People going to escape in the great...
I don't know if you've been to Indiana before, but it's lovely this time of year.
Especially this time of year. Yeah. I mean, it's so bizarre a suggestion that like one struggles to take it seriously. I think I have to come back to the same point that I was making earlier about like Facebook and Twitter, and that we'll just come back, we'll create a better algorithm and everything will work itself out. No, governing humanity is a messy proposition.
I agree. I just think we've screwed it up.
Well, what kind of robot politician, like what are you looking for in your robot politician before you're willing to give your support?
I mean, a lot of these people are already just pressing a yes or no button anyway.
In some cases, they're not even pressing their own yes or no buttons.
You have a page
This
to
is
it.
regularly happens in the Illinois General Assembly that, you just have a page come down and press the button and vote for you. You don't even have to be there to vote.
Yeah, so I think you'd program these robots in a way that I think, going back to the umpire example, they'd be programmed to call a ball or a strike based on what a ball or a strike is, based on the second rule in the Major League Baseball rulebook. I think a robot politician would be programmed to make decisions based on what's best for the taxpayer. So the cursive writing bill comes through the Illinois General Assembly. You have robot Chris Welch there. He says, you know what, no, I'm not going to vote for an unfunded mandate. I'm not programmed that way. He votes no. Everyone else votes no. The bill dies 0 to whatever. It goes into ruins.
Therein lies the rub, doesn't it? That the idea of course, who is programming are robot politicians. Are they being programmed to have the utmost respect for the taxpayer? Are they being programmed to maximize the value they can get for tax dollars? Or are they being programmed to serve, some other interest?
You download the Constitution into the robot. I don't know how you haven't thought this through very much. You download the Constitution into the robot, and then it's programmed to work on behalf of its constituents.
So the Constitution is going to, if you're an Asimov fan, is going to operate kind of like the 3 laws of robotics.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying I couldn't be talked into this. As someone who doesn't necessarily enjoy that our government has become as entertaining as it is, quote unquote entertaining, maybe a duller, roboticized government might be better.
Can't do any worse.
We want to know what you think. If you think robots could possibly do better than our current crop of politicians, or at least couldn't do any worse, call us at 312-642-5600, or you can text DA to 64636 to share your thoughts and be a part of the program today. Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in for Dan and Amy.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Everyone's doing it, and everyone's making money at it. Except you. You're losing business to your online competitors and you just don't know how to get in the game. Where do you even go for the information on how to get started? You need Salem Surround. Give us a moment and we'll offer you a free analysis of your digital marketing effectiveness, even if you have none. And we'll suggest methods that could dramatically increase your sales coming out of this season. We can design and implement all your online marketing under one roof, give you monthly reports on results, and instantly move your dollars to the most effective areas of your online advertising and sales. Social marketing, geofencing, web search enhancement, event targeting, and more. Now, there are no limitations on where you can reach customers with Salem Surround, increasing sales dramatically. Learn more. Go online to surroundchicago.com. That's surroundchicago.com. Salem Surround, connecting you with new customers.
I wish I was in school. I wish I was in school. I wish I was in school.
Summer isn't fun when you're hungry.
If only I had a big test today. Or a book report to give. Give me a math quiz. Give me some homework.
If your child relies on free school lunches, we can help provide them with free meals this summer.
I'll stay after class. I'll clean the chalkboard. I'll keep my desk rail clean.
So they can stop worrying about food and start focusing on fun.
I'll do extra homework. I'll clean the class pet's cage. I'll skip recess.
School might end, but free lunches don't have to.
I wish I was in school. I wish I was in school.
If your child relies on free school lunches, we can help provide them with free meals this summer. Visit feedingamerica.org/summer meals to find your local food bank for help. Once again, that's feedingamerica.org/summer meals. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
It's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. I'm Alan Gottlieb, founder of the Second Amendment Foundation. When someone says we don't need that kind of gun, remind them the Founding Fathers determined what rights our Constitution should protect. There's a world of difference between rights and needs. It is not the function of government to tell us what we need or what we don't. Certainly no one needs an assault rifle or a Saturday Night Special, or for that matter, no one needs a Corvette with a high-capacity horsepower engine capable of speeds to 150 miles per hour. But in the hands of honest, responsible individuals, we have the right of choice. We have the right to read books others don't like. We have the right to listen to any radio program we choose. We have the right to dress the way we want to. We also have the right to own firearms of our choice. So the next time someone tells you you don't need something, tell them it's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. Join the Second Amendment Foundation today so that this message and our Bill of Rights might live. Call 425-454-7012. That's 425-454-7012.
You've spent a lot of time and energy getting everything perfect with the planning and construction of your new property, but something's still missing. The interior and exterior of the structure turned out as planned, but there's still something you may not have even thought of until now. And it makes a big difference. The landscape. That's where AM Woodland Design makes the outdoors come alive to put that final detail on your build. Whether you're a commercial developer or custom home builder, AM Woodland Outdoor Design will put the finishing touches on your properties to make a complete and flawless presentation that will impress. As always, the expert team at AM Woodland Outdoor Design will guide you through every step of the process and provide quality service with integrity and reliability every time.
AM Woodland Outdoor Design, proudly serving Lake, Northern Cook, and Kenosha counties, helping make the communities they grew up in as beautiful as they can be. Visit amwoodland.com, that's amwoodland.com, or call 847-224-2167.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggie capsules contain 100% vine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind. And it is undeniably one of the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water, some a little higher, some a little lower. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to take out the water and air, leaving only whole food, which maintains 99.9% of its original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health. Make sense? To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth, now heard regularly in 18 countries. What percentage of you listening to this commercial often say to yourself, what could I do to make more money, or how can we increase our business? I'm guessing that's most of you. Have you ever heard knock on the door and it'll open? Well, my friends at Income Store have doors you can open that can help you or your family make more money, or doors that lead to an increase in revenue for any business of any size. Income Store has 2 main doors on their website. These doors lead to over 2,000 revenue-generating ideas and products. Although a few of their products are pricey, 90+% of their growth formulas are delivered free or nearly free. Income Store's growth products and ideas have been publicized and featured on Forbes, Inc., USA Today, and recently the Biography Channel. Could your household or business use a revenue shot in the backside? Are you sick of your checkbook talking back and saying no? If so, you need to knock on the doors of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Warren Buffett's mentor, Benjamin Graham, said, "The essence of investment management is the management of risk, not returns." Hi, this is Joe Lopresti, president of Arlington Capital Management. I'm here to explain how we help manage our clients' exposure to risk. We're the creators of our proprietary proactive asset allocation strategy, known as PAS. It is designed to analyze important market trends and alert us to potential changes in the market. But that's only part of what I believe makes Arlington Capital Management unique. It's the care and personalized service we provide our clients that really defines us. We understand how important your financial goals are to you and your family, and we never take that responsibility lightly. It all starts by understanding the things that are most important to you. It's part of the Arlington Capital Management difference. To experience it for yourself, schedule your complimentary consultation by calling 855-471-5796. That's 855-471-5796, or visit arlington-capital.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser, in today for Dan and Amy. Be part of the program with us, 312-642-5600, or you can text DA to 64636 to share your thoughts. Just like Jerry in Batavia. Jerry, thanks for calling.
Good morning. Good morning. You're a very good replacement for Dan and Amy.
Thank you.
I like the TV. I wanted everybody to know that the TV is really cool. I am a retired scientist, and I've got an Apple X, and that thing is sentient. I had a setting on where it always sits on the side. My wife and I were talking yesterday, and I said, you know, I'm not a bad singer. And Siri says, well, nobody ever said you were. And I said, what? You know? So then I said, you're supposed to say, hey, Siri, before you ask it a question. So I just said, Siri, are you listening to me? And she said, yes. I mean, a completely different voice than normal that she gives. She said, yes. And I've taught this stupid thing. It cost $1,000, you know.
Yeah.
I've taught it. I've taught it Russian, and now it's gotten back to the corporate, and now they are starting to program her to speak Russian. And when I was a scientist, I'm 76 years old.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a scientist way back in the 60s and 70s, I had to know 5 languages: French, German, I don't know, Latin, all of them. Anyway, I bought this thing to keep me from getting senile, okay? And you know what a pain in the ass the Apple X is. I mean, it's hard to work. So anyway, it's listening to me, and it's incredible. And nobody realizes, we are being taken over by the computers and the sentient beings that are out there.
Jerry,
I'm curious to know what you think.
Yeah, Jerry,
thanks so much for your call, Jerry.
This is thank you for your call. I just got the iPhone X, and for a while that was a fear of mine, especially with the facial recognition. I'm just accepting it now. I know if I'm talking about something, there's going to be an ad for it on my Facebook because the computer's listening. I know, like, my iPhone's listening. I used to have a Samsung TV, smart TV, that turned off by itself all the time. And I heard later, I mean, it could be BS, but, like, I read later on that that's some kind of spying technique, that it's, like, watching you when it turns off by itself. It used to freak me out. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone's watching me anyway. The NSA is listening to me.
Yeah.
We're all going to, that's what I was saying before, we're all going to die someday. You know,
Yeah.
Eat Arby's. It's fine.
So we have a Amazon Echo, which there's plenty of these stories now of it, it listening and apparently sending recordings of conversations people have had to other people. There's people who have been reporting stories of, they're talking about something just in casual conversation, and then you start getting served up digital advertising for whatever it was that you were talking about. So, like, how do you draw the line between, how possibly crazy this sounds and to what extent it is happening? You have this passive microphone. You're carrying a microphone around with you everywhere you go. It'd be surprising if it wasn't listening to you.
We both have our phones out right now on the desks in front of us. They're
Exactly.
listening to this conversation about the phones listening to us.
I wonder if they feel like in the same way that if you overhear a conversation about yourself, do they feel awkward? Like, I don't know what their feelings. I don't know. Again, to go back to the canon of this, which is the Terminator franchise, the best/worst line of Terminator 2, which is a better movie than the first one, is the ridiculous Arnold Schwarzenegger, I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do. One, curse you, James Cameron, for having to put that line in there. And then deciding apparently years later that you're going to have to subject us to 3 or 4 Avatar sequels that no one asked for. But, maybe it can feel. I don't know. How do you know? You don't know. Maybe it's getting upset at the conversation we're having about it right now.
Right. I've heard that with the Amazon Echo, there's a benefit. I mean, this is like very, very. The odds are very low, but I've heard situations of the Amazon Echo. You could figure out like a murder based on the Amazon Echo recording everything that's going on, even when it's off. And there are some like silver linings to all this intrusiveness of technology. If you look at those very remote examples, very few and far between. So maybe maybe these things have our best interests at heart. Maybe the ads pop up on Facebook because it wants us to have the things that we're talking about that we think we're talking about in private.
Well, yes, I've always regarded the idea of people getting incensed about targeted advertising to be somewhat bizarre. Look, we're going to be advertised to. If you remember being a kid and watching Saturday morning cartoons, there were commercials for toys and breakfast cereal. Now with having children of my own, we're relegated with, we are assaulted with the commercials for all kinds of toys that instantaneously my children decide they never knew existed, but now they have to have. The idea that this kind of blast blanket advertising is better than it actually trying to show me things that I might want or not even necessarily need, but at least be helpful to me, that would be products that would be helpful to me, is a bizarre complaint. I just find that to be a bizarre complaint, that you'd rather have things not relevant to your life advertised to you than things relevant to your life advertised to you.
It's the whole idea of the intrusiveness of it and feeling like your privacy is violated because you're not consenting to the conversation that gives people the information to have ads targeted to you. But wait until those people who are bothered by that find out what the government is doing.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You think that's bad? You think the Facebook targeted ads are bad? Wait till I tell you about the National Security Agency.
Yeah. It's, but they're just trying to keep us safe, Joe.
Sure.
They're just trying to, keep us safe by regularly and routinely compromising our privacy. It's for our own good.
I think I would rather have my privacy compromised by a targeted ad. Like right now, I'm just scrolling through my Facebook. I have an ad for, I don't even know why. I'm not a car person. I have an ad for Audi. I would rather, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I've been served up ads for multiple different meals, the mail order meal services that I think most of them are interesting.
Because you Instagram all your meals?
I used to do that. I don't do that as much anymore. But yes, I did used to do that. # plated pics. I find it to be, if we're going to live in this world, at least it's like helping show me things that are more interesting rather than less interesting, which I think is pretty much all you could really want. But yeah, I've never had a conversation with Siri like that.
I don't think I've ever intentionally used Siri. I don't find it useful.
I did do one thing. I changed it to like this very nice female British voice, which I find just to be more interesting.
Do you find that intrusiveness more pleasant?
Yeah, I do. I like the idea of this nice, attractive sounding British female telling me the directions to wherever I'm going.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think it's
each their own.
If I'm going to have fun with it, I'm going to have fun with it. Whole lot more coming up in the program that we want you to be a part of, and the way that you can do that, the way that you can be a part of this program with us today, is by giving us a call, 312-642-5600. Maybe you've had a conversation with Siri or Alexa or Cortana, or I don't remember the other one. I think there's another one. If you have, we want to know, or text DA to 64636. Plenty more to come on the program, but first we're going to go into the newsroom with Perry Williams for the news, the traffic, the weather, all of that good stuff. Thanks again for joining us into the newsroom, now with Perry Williams.
Right now it's time for an update from Fox News on AM 560 The Answer, WIND Chicago. It's 8 o'clock.
Back from Iraq, President Trump tweets the troops are incredible people that know how to win. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
No enemy on earth can match the awesome strength of American soldiers, sailors, airmen,
and Marines. Nobody's even close.
He greeted thousands of troops at an airbase in Iraq, controversially signing some Make America Great Again hats and talking about ISIS. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the president had a thank you message for the troops, saying they're responsible
for the near elimination of the ISIS territorial caliphate in Iraq and in Syria.
Pointing out that 2 years after he took office, the terror group is much weaker than before. He defended pulling troops out of nearby Syria, saying the United States has knocked the Islamic State silly. The president has been criticized for the decision. Dave?
Well, Rachel, the president also tweeted, if the Democrats finally realize we desperately need border security and a wall, it's day 6 of the partial government shutdown and a standoff over wall funding. He also claimed most of the people not getting paid are Democrats. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy hopes he gets the funding.
This problem's not going away. We need to secure that border, and there always will be that pressure of, oh my gosh, here comes several thousand more folks.
Some senators are at the Capitol today, but there's no sign of compromise. Democrats insist they want border security, just not the president's wall. Stocks may head right back down this morning. Dow futures falling more than 300 the day after the highest and biggest point gain ever, more than 1,000, which was a rebound from the massive sell-off on Christmas Eve. Police continue to search around Newman, California for a cop killer, the man who shot an officer at a traffic stop.
This guy was an officer. He has a baby boy, a family. The least the community could do for him now is find this guy. We owe him that much.
That's one of Officer Ranil Singh's friends. He leaves behind a wife and that baby is just 5 months old. This is Fox News.
Good morning. It's 40 degrees and cloudy in Chicago at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. I'm Perry Williams. No snow from the strong storm system moving through the upper Midwest is expected locally. The National Weather Service says the Chicago area is on the warmer side of the system and is expected to get a period of moderate rainfall and gusty southerly winds today. A few thunderstorms are possible. One person is dead after Chicago police say he jumped from a hospital window. It happened yesterday morning at Mercy Hospital on the city's south side. Police did not release details on why the leap happened. Flight passengers bound for O'Hare had to take a different plane after a mechanical issue. The American Airlines flight had to turn around and head back to Louisville, Kentucky yesterday morning, that is. American Airlines hasn't said what the exact problem was, but did say a maintenance team was troubleshooting the issue. Passengers were rebooked on another flight to Chicago. Time now for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network. Here's Lillian Wu.
From the Fox Business Network, slumping futures on Wall Street the morning after a massive rally. Overseas markets mixed. It's day 6 of the partial government shutdown with no sign of a breakthrough as the president digs in on his demand for border wall funding.
They all know you need the wall, or whatever you want to call it, in order to secure our border.
Speaking during an unannounced visit to Iraq Wednesday with the First Lady. And looking back at 2018, it's been a banner year for the legal marijuana industry in the U.S., worth by some estimates more than $10 billion. With California becoming the largest legal U.S. marketplace, drug regulators approving the first marijuana-based pharmaceutical. It's to treat kids with a form of epilepsy, and billions of investment dollars poured into cannabis companies. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Lillian Wu.
AM 560 News Time is 8:04. Where are the cars this morning? We'll have the answer in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
The world is a dangerous place. Often, it's a very ugly place, and you come here to try to help make sense of it all. We give you the latest news, help you understand what it means and why it's important. But there are bigger questions you need answered about life and death, faith and hope. And that's where our sister station, AM 1160, Hope for Your Life, comes in. When you're looking for answers to life's biggest questions, give them a listen at AM 1160 or online at 1160hope.com.
Nothing speaks louder about an auto dealer than a happy customer. And at Joe Cotton Ford, they have many.
I had a 2001 Excursion, was about 6 months old. We got T-boned, $29,000 worth of damage, bent the frame. after a few months, got it back from you guys, and it actually drove and rode better than when I got it from the factory. Well, service visits are always top-notch. You know, your service department, starting with Dave and going down all your service riders, are just amazing.
Another reason why folks keep coming back to Joe Cotton Ford. Joe Cotton Ford wishes you the happiest holidays ever and gives you the gift of 0% for 72 months on many of Ford's most popular vehicles for qualified buyers. And get the biggest rebates of the year on all remaining 2018 models at Joe Cotton Ford. No hype and no pressure. It's why generations of customers keep coming back to Joe Cotton Ford. Get to Joe Cotton Ford today. 0% for 72 months is only for a limited time. Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com. joecottonford.com.
What a year. Your home improvement to-do list still isn't to done. But hey, at least you still have time to get the Ford vehicle you've always wanted. Just get to the final days of our holiday sales event. Stop by your local Ford dealer today. It's where you'll find our best offers of the season on Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. So, see you sometime between now and January 2nd. Ford, built for the holidays. And now, for a limited time, you can bring home a new F-150 with 0% financing for 72 months, only at your Ford dealer. Not all buyers will qualify for Ford credit financing. 72 months at $13.89 per month per $1,000 finance, regardless of down payment, is available on 18 model year F-150, excludes Raptor. For all offers, take new retail delivery from an authorized Ford dealer stock by 1/2/19. See dealer or go to buyfordnow.com for qualifications and complete details.
At 8:06 from the AM 560 Traffic Center, here's Jim Telemonte.
In Brookfield, eastbound Ogden remains closed. Raymond to Maple after a jackknife semi. Westbound, the left lane remains closed on Ogden. Clean up. Kenosha, Green Bay Road is shut down. 60th and 52nd, which is 158. That's due to a fire. The Aidens Expressway looks great. Kennedy inbound, slow division to the Burns Circle. 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 20. About Eisenhower, got a 1 or 2 minute delay between Ashland and the Circle due to ongoing construction. Mount Stevenson, heavy Cicero to Kedzie. 38 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, up on 35. About Ryan, Stoll has cleared at 95th. Visionport is jammed, starting at 111th. 48 minutes, 80-94 to the merge. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
More Chicago's Morning Answer comes your way next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
Breezy and mild, occasional rain today, high 50. A shower this evening, otherwise clouds and breezy tonight, low 44. Cloudy and breezy for tomorrow, turning colder in the afternoon, flurries, and a high 44. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Your next news update is at 8:30. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Chicago's Morning Answer continues now on AM 560, The Answer.
Make sure to check out the Income Store live video stream of today's show right now at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy. Be a part of the program by calling us at 312-642-5600 or texting DA to 64636 to share your thoughts with us. And we live at a time of political disruptions. One of the examples of that is our current president of the United States, Donald Trump, is a bit of a disruptor of the moment. Another example of one of these disruptions of what had been the reigning political order is Brexit. The vote back in June of 2016, when almost 52% of the United Kingdom voted to withdraw from the European Union. So that is all proceeding. In the last several weeks, we've had some interesting events with that. There was the negotiated Brexit deal that Theresa May, the Prime Minister, discovered did not have enough votes to get through Parliament. And then there was a vote of no confidence that was attempted, which came up short as well. So with deadlines approaching for a deal for Brexit. We wanted to find out more about what is going on there, what it is going to mean for that country and for leaving the European Union. And to get some insight on that, we're joined by Rory Broomfield, who is the author of The Future's Bright, The Future's Global, and a former director of the Freedom Association and the Better Off Out campaign. Rory joins us now. Rory, thank you for joining us.
Hello, pleasure to be here.
So, Rory, I wanted to ask so we've had the two most recent events, at least for as we consume it over on this side of the pond, have been the failure of Theresa May's negotiated deal and then the vote of no confidence. Can you walk us through your thoughts on what those mean? Why did that deal fail? Why did the vote of no confidence fail?
So the deal is actually still on the table, in a sense. So Parliament never actually voted against the deal. The Parliament never actually voted at all to ratify the deal. And this agreement with the European Union, between the UK government and the European Union, has to go through all parliaments of the European Union, including the UK's, to be ratified. And it was delayed because the government realized it didn't have the votes. It didn't have the votes to get through, and as a result, the government is now behind closed doors with EU negotiators and counterparts trying to change the text and get reassurances and legal changes so that when they do put a renewed agreement back on the table, so to speak, then they have a greater chance of winning that vote in Parliament. You are right to say, though, there was a vote of no confidence, or indeed a vote of confidence, or in the Prime Minister. That was, though, in her own party. It wasn't a vote of confidence in Parliament, it was in the vote of confidence in her own party. I hasten to add, she had to guarantee she would be standing down before the next general election to win that vote of no confidence, or indeed vote of confidence. And so we just see there's a cauldron of excitement and expectation about what the government can actually bring back to ensure not just Theresa May's political life limps on over the next couple of years maybe, but also to ensure that the deal actually gets through Parliament.
Were you surprised that the vote of confidence was not successful, that she was not ousted? Did that come as a surprise to you?
It wasn't a surprise to me because of the timing. If it had been earlier, as part of the Conservative Party tried to orchestrate it, then there was a higher degree, in my estimation, of her losing that vote of confidence. The result of it being so delayed and being just before Christmas and indeed being just before this deal, or just after this deal was meant to be voted on, that effectively turned itself into a party management question than a ratification on the deal itself. The political system in the UK is far more led by the whipping system with regards to the politicians and parties than it is in the US. And actually, the UK's political deal with the EU that had been delayed was far less important, in my view, governing the votes of confidence in Theresa May than party management, keeping the party together. And so that's why I thought it wasn't a surprise when she gained 200 votes to 130 odd. She won a comfortable margin and survived to be Prime Minister the following day.
Where's public sentiment on all this? I mean, Eric mentioned the original Brexit vote totals at the outset, but has that shifted at all as new developments have been made in one direction or the other?
There are numerous polls out there discussing a variety of circumstances and scenarios. The issue really is whether you respect the poll that was conducted on 23rd of June 2016, which is yet to be implemented. And then, of course, there was a further general election in the UK last year, where 80% of the members of Parliament were elected on a manifesto promise of leaving the European Union, its customs union, its single market, and everything else. And so the question is, do you respect those polls, or do you respect the variety of different polls that are coming around, whether they be sponsored by particular news organizations or individuals? It's very hard to tell, but we do know a definitive answer that was given in June 2016 and the following year, that the British people, when it comes to the vote, when it comes to voting, want the UK to leave.
The deal that had been negotiated, you said it's still on the table. It hadn't been voted on. What is your opinion of that deal? Is it sufficient? Does it work for you? If not, what problems do you diagnose it with?
Well, actually, your president, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, summed it up best. He actually said this deal is a good deal for the EU. It's actually a very bad deal for the UK. And he was completely right in that conclusion, that very neat summary. And it's a bad deal for the UK for two principal reasons. I think what your president, Donald Trump, would have been saying, it's more about trade and the trade consequences of the deal, which wraps the UK up to respect what's called the Common Rule Book, or in legal terms, the acquis communautaire, which is the legal system of the European Union, when it comes to trade, and will make a trade deal with the US far harder to achieve. But politically, the issues with Northern Ireland and Ireland is a key driver in why it was so unpopular in Parliament. Effectively, according to the Attorney General of the UK and his legal advice, what's called the backstop, which was negotiated within the withdrawal agreement, would tie the UK to the European Union indefinitely. That was his advice, the use of the word indefinite. If, of course, that deal were to be approved by Parliament and the other parliaments in the European Union. So there's a trade issue, and then there's a political issue, and they're both favouring the European Union, they're both harming the UK, and they're both restricting the UK in what it could possibly do after it leaves the European Union, albeit in name, going from March 2019. So the deal, if of course the deal is ratified, so the deal itself is bad politics and it's bad news in trading terms for the UK, not just with other parts of the Commonwealth, current Commonwealth of the United Kingdom, but also with a key trading partner that is the United States.
Given the travails that she has gone through, do you believe that Theresa May is in a solid enough political position to be able to negotiate a better deal that sufficiently addresses the concerns that you've just raised?
I find it hard to believe. Never say never in politics, especially when it comes to politics of this sort of febrile atmosphere, this cauldron of excitement in the UK that is currently happening. But the European Union and the other heads of governments around the European Union have said that they have already agreed a deal, that there is no room for negotiation in changing the legal texts which would be needed to win over Theresa May's backbenchers in her own party, those that instigated the vote of confidence or no confidence, and indeed others within Parliament who are sympathetic to the Conservative Party and its idea of leaving the European Union, such as the Northern Irish Party, the Democratic Unionist Party. It may come to pass that Theresa May puts forward her renewed, as she spins it, and her people spin it, withdrawal agreement, and actually it's voted through with the opposition supporting it rather than her own party, which would make for an incredible new chapter in British politics, which would make the last few months of Brexit negotiations and the theatre that has really come to the UK as a result, the political theatre, it will make that look like an opening act. It may make it look like just the aperitif on the wider meal, the meat on the bone. That would be the chaos that could bring to the UK. So all in all, this deal could go through. It may not satisfy everyone in her party. It certainly wouldn't on current terms satisfy me, but it may go through on the basis of opposition votes.
Very interesting. Well, new political orders kind of seem to be the order of the day. At least they are over here. But very interesting. Thank you for the insight so much. Rory Broomfield, the author of The Future's Bright, The Future's Global, former director of the Freedom Association and the Better Off Out campaign. Rory, thank you for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
I have the perfect Christmas or any other occasion gift for just about everybody on your list. I suggest the MyPillow Holiday 4-pack offer. You can get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows plus free shipping, all for the normal price of 1 premium MyPillow. Think about that for a second. You can give 1, 2, 3, or even 4 gifts, all for the price of 1. Or if you still don't have a MyPillow for yourself, keep 1 and gift the rest. And the money-back offer is extended through March 1st. Not only that, but you can still get 30% off everything, including the MyPillow mattress topper and pet beds that you've heard me rave about. Just be sure to use the promo code Amy to get the MyPillow 4-pack offer with free shipping and the 30% discount on everything else, including mattress toppers and pet beds. Visit MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. And don't forget to use the promo code Amy. That's MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
Oh, no colds, no flu, lots of energy, just overall well-being. It's just if I stop taking it, I see the difference. You know, I would never stop with these. I would keep them on hand always.
Well, I got more energy for sure. I don't feel the same if I don't take this every day. I think it's improved my life greatly because I was feeling real sluggish before, sluggish and tired. I had like this brain fog. It's all gone now. You know, I've been taking this stuff and I feel like I have the energy of an 18-year-old with the looks of a 30-year-old and I'm 50. It's crazy. This stuff is crazy. I love it.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
If you could do something to protect your family with just 10 minutes effort, would you bother? If something should ever happen to you, that 10-minute effort could mean the difference between hardship and financial security for your loved ones. Life insurance is something most people don't like to think about. Too many people do nothing until it's too late. The reason? People expect it'll be a big hassle. Ethos changes all that. Ethos is modern life insurance for people who don't have the time for fine print, extra doctor's appointments, or hidden fees. Ethos is affordable. It only takes about 10 minutes to apply online. And you'll be taking the first step in ensuring your family has the help they need to maintain the life you're building for them, even if the unexpected happens. Ethos brings you choices that don't require an in-person meeting with an agent, and in most cases, there's no need for a doctor's appointment. Ethos, life insurance for the 21st century. Apply online in just 10 minutes. Get a free quote now at getethos.com. That's getethos.com. Getethos.com.
AM 560.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser, filling in today for Dan and Amy. Be a part of the program by calling us at 312-642-5600 or text DA to 64636. Interesting to see that we're not alone in these kind of tumultuous political times, that kind of our oldest and most important ally also experiencing some interesting political machinations. I find what's going on over there fascinating. My own position on my own thoughts on it is that I'm not necessarily pro-Brexit. I'm pro-respecting the will of the people as they voted. I think it is tremendously difficult. It sets a terrible precedent if there were to be a second referendum, because it's like the same reason that I'm opposed to recalling politicians. It's like you don't get do-overs in that sense. Like, if in an electoral sense with politicians, when they're going to be up again. And if you don't want them to be governing your state, your city, whatever, vote them out. You don't get to regret your choice and get rid of them early.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion that I respect the will of the people over there. I don't live there. But I do find it interesting. And yeah, with the second referendum, I mean, you kind of saw this when Scott Walker was recalled as governor of Wisconsin. Attempted. Well, they made the effort to recall him. Part of the rub with even like people in the center, people of who aren't overly partisan, was they didn't think the recall was warranted. They didn't think it was. I mean, even if they disagree with the political decision, a recall was used to, get somebody out of office who was corrupt or did something illegal or some kind of malfeasance. And this was just like a policy disagreement they had.
Yeah.
You don't get like you said, you don't get a do-over on an outcome you didn't like.
Yeah.
The do-over you get is at the ballot box the next election.
The next election that comes up. And even with the idea of criminality, malfeasance, and all of that, there is a mechanism for that. It's impeachment and removal from office. Just because people don't like or think, I have a friend who is very much of the anti-Trump persuasion, who likes to bang on about the idea that, these systems don't work because like impeachment and removal from office for Donald Trump is not going to happen. Ergo, the system is broken. We need new systems. I find this, again, to borrow a term, problematic, because one, if you're going to get a new system, first, you need to get it through a constitutional amendment, which is basically what you're seeding is not going to happen. If there's not enough public will to impeach and remove the president, there's certainly not going to be enough public will to amend the Constitution to deal with what you perceive as this kind of momentary problem. The people in the United Kingdom spoke, and whether or not I think it is a good idea doesn't really matter, not only because I'm not a citizen there, but also because they had a chance to make their voice heard. They did. I believe it's correct that more people turned out for that election than have for any, ballot question or election in the UK in quite a long time. So clearly it was something people are animated about, and it won. So now you have a duty, and I get that it's messy. What I thought Rory said was interesting is that Theresa May, in this kind of politically stunted position she's in now, may not be in a position to get a good deal. So what does this actually look like? It's going to be interesting to watch this unfold over the next several months to years.
The Trump impeachment, bringing that up is a good example for the kind of thing over here where people kind of jump to the impeachment conclusion, like if we get X amount of votes, or if we create this, if we get the majority in Congress, we can impeach Trump.
Yeah.
But that's just not how it works. You can't impeach George Bush over the Iraq War. I mean, you physically could, but it's not like you see a policy disagreement and you
can.
You have
There's
the mechanism.
Yes, the mechanism
but
exists.
That's just not how that's not how we go about things.
Your complaint is that the public will to do so does not exist. The political will to do so does not exist. And that is a qualitatively different problem than saying that, the system is broken because you can't snap your fingers and remove Donald Trump from office in the magic way that so many people seem to want to do so.
And it's a good thing that the public will doesn't exist for these knee-jerk reactions, like removing a president over a few policy disagreements, or removing a governor in Wisconsin over a policy disagreement.
There's a reason that these things are supposed to be slowed down so people do not do these kinds of rash, poorly thought out things. There should be political will before you try to do anything like that. Share your thoughts with us by giving us a call at 312-642-5600 or text DA to 64636 to be a part of the program. Eric Cohn and Joe Kaiser filling in today for Dan and Amy. Now we go into the newsroom with Perry Williams.
Good morning. It's 40 degrees and cloudy in Chicago at 8:30 on AM 560 The Answer. I'm Perry Williams. A longtime Chicago political consultant has died. Brian Sleet managed the campaign for Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx, who said in a statement that she would not be where she is without his guidance when she began her first run for public office. Sleet was 41 years old. A film reel containing news events, including the Chicago World's Fair in 1933 and 1934, has been found in Iowa. Business owner Rodney Sebastian made the discovery when cleaning a building at Purchase in Davenport. The 35-millimeter reels have footage of news events, also including film shot in 1931 when President Lincoln's tomb was dedicated in Springfield. Newly released police dash cam video is showing a shocking moment from last month when a Metro train almost hit several vehicles. The video was recorded by a police cruiser in Mokina that was steered away from the train at the last second, but not before it showed two other vehicles just get over the tracks in time. In sports news, the Bulls trailed by 23 at the half and went on to lose 119-94 to the Timberwolves at the United Center last night. Zach LaVine came off the bench to score 28 points for Chicago, which is 9-26. Former Bull Derrick Rose scored 24 points for Minnesota in his return to Chicago. This news report is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Great news! There's a quick way you could save money. Switch to Geico. Geico could help you get great coverage at a great price, and it only takes 15 minutes to see if you could save 15% or more on car insurance. Go to geico.com today and see how much you could save. AM 560 news time is 8:32. How bad is traffic? We'll have the answer in 2 minutes on AM 560, The Answer.
Dennis Prager says we have reason to worry for our democracy.
This indictment, he may have paid off or asked his lawyer to pay off people and then violated campaign finance law. I am afraid for my country. What we are seeing here is exactly what happens in the third world, where powers use their government for political ends.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Dan Proft.
And I'm Amy Jacobson.
And we want to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and to make a difference this Christmas season.
We're talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program.
We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide food and clean water to several thousand children this year in the Caribbean and Latin America, where it's desperately needed.
And your business can be a part of this. Become a Food for the Poor Business Benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 60-second commercials to air right here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
That's the best advertising deal in all of Chicago. To take advantage of this deal, just call Anjanette Natkowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's Anjanette at 847-472-8951. One more time, 847-472-8951.
Do your gums bleed? Have you been told that you have gum disease? Are you missing teeth? The doctors at PerioCare can help. This is Dr. Russell Sakala, and I am a periodontist. I specialize in the treatment of gum disease to save teeth and dental implants to replace missing teeth. Did you know that gum disease has been linked to a variety of other health problems, including heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and increases the risk of premature birth? The good news is the doctors at PerioCare are specialists in the area of treating gum disease and the placement of dental implants. We treat the whole patient and use the most contemporary treatment options that best fit your condition. Our primary goal is to restore your dental health and replace missing teeth to maintain your general health. I'm a veteran and I support veterans. PerioCare offers a discount for those who have served. PerioCare, where a healthy smile means a healthy body. For a consultation, call 773-631-0344 or visit us at periocare.com.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
At 8:34 from the AM 560 Traffic Center, here's Jim Telemonte.
Traffic is fairly light on most of the expressways and tollways, but the Bishop Ford Freeway is heavy. 103rd up to 95th on the inbound ride. There's an earlier stall involving a flat tire. It's 25 minutes, 8094 to the merge. Inbound Ryan then has a delay from Canalport to the Burns Circle, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown. Edens is fine. Kennedy, okay at the moment. Inbound Eisenhower has delays. California to the Circle, 33 minutes, 390 to downtown. Inbound Stevenson, there's a 2-minute delay, Pulaski to Kedzie. Lakeshore Drive southbound, stop and go Michigan Avenue to the Oak Street curve, there's a crash. Brookfield eastbound Ogden is closed. Raymond to Maple, Jackknife Semi. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
More Chicago's Morning Answer comes your way next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Here's meteorologist Steve Williams.
Occasional rain, breezy and mild today, high 50. Shower this evening, otherwise clouds and breezy, low 44. Cloudy and breezy, turning colder tomorrow afternoon. Some flurries late in the day or evening. High tomorrow at 44. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
Your next news update is at 9 o'clock. Continuous coverage of the latest news, traffic, and weather at 560theanswer.com. Now more of Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser in today for Dan and Amy. Be part of the program by giving us a call at 312-642-5600, or you can text DA to 64636. Joe, you know as well as I do that living in Illinois is taxing. See what I did there?
Yeah.
What I did there? You see it?
Yeah.
It
was okay.
We got one more day for me to round out this. If you're enjoying what you're hearing, Joe and I will be back tomorrow for another edition of Chicago's Morning Answer with these fill-in hosts. If you don't like what you hear today, just forget I said anything.
Tomorrow's number is going to drop a ton because you gave the disclaimer today. But.
Yeah, well, what can you do? But yes, in addition to one of just in general the highest tax burdens that anybody anywhere in the country faces, Illinoisans face a healthy number or unhealthy number, perhaps, of excise taxes, better known as sin taxes. And to shed some light or perhaps sober us up about this reality, we are joined right now by Vincent Caruso, who is a writer at the Illinois Policy Institute. Vincent, thank you for joining us. Vincent?
Hey.
Hey, there we go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
So you have detailed in this story at illinoispolicy.org what is going on with excise taxes, sin taxes, as they are also known in Illinois, that Illinoisans face some of the highest in the nation. What do Illinoisans face in terms of sin taxes?
Well, they face a tax burden that is increasingly reliant on unstable revenues levied through excise taxes. The Tax Foundation has found that these are among the least reliable revenue sources in the country. And Illinois, as the Tax Foundation found, increasingly is relying on sales taxes that are of the excise tax category.
So what are some of those, first of all, what are some of those categories that Illinois is doing, it has increasingly high excise taxes on?
One that was particularly sorry, had to change rooms. One that grabbed headlines earlier this year, actually just a couple weeks ago, is the state's wireless tax. It's now the highest in the nation after being just fourth highest last year.
So that's interesting. So what so the wireless taxes, we've talked about sales taxes, which of course is something that I'm sure people are readily familiar with after going through the Christmas season. So something like the soda tax would fall into this category as well, correct?
Right, yeah. And we saw that consumers are they about had it with excise taxes because that made history according to the Wall Street Journal that they actually had
I think we may have lost Vincent.
Well, I was going to say I was glad that he switched rooms because I thought he called us on a toaster.
Yeah,
and the toaster was cutting in and out. But
I'm beginning to think that Vincent didn't pay his tax bill on a cell phone.
That's got to be it. He was so against his cell phone taxes that he refused to pay the bill altogether.
Or may I suggest that Siri is listening to this conversation?
Oh, it's Siri's
and
pissed
Siri
at us.
is now an agent of Mike Madigan and does not approve of what she is hearing.
Yeah, well, Siri's just kind of angry with us in general, so I feel like that could be part of it. But also, I mean, Vincent's right with the cell phone taxes, and that could be,
Well, he was right about the point he was making with the soda tax as well. It's a remarkable story that, on two levels, kind of an optimistic one and a disappointing one. The optimistic one is this tax is implemented and boom, boom, boom. People react to it. They are not happy about it. And they managed to get rid of it in pretty much record time. The disappointing thing is these same people have watched their property taxes grow and grow and grow and grow. And yet there seems to be no, as the regular host of this program, Mr. Prof, would suggest, the kind of revolt that you would need to push back against property taxes.
Well,
like that.
it's because soda is a thing, it's a regular thing that people consume, or sugary drinks almost every day. The tax affected so many regular people in a way that they don't think about property taxes or income taxes. They don't. But when you're going to the store and you see an extra few cents attached to your bill, all of a sudden, then you start to get angry about it. And sin taxes, I think, you see that more often. Soda tax is the big example, but you see people go to Indiana all the time to buy their cigarettes, pick up fireworks while they're there, maybe do some grocery shopping while they're in the area because they see that more. They look at their receipts when they go shopping, and that's why I think you see the revolt with the soda tax, and you see more of a gripe with these kinds of taxes than you do property taxes, even though the property tax bill, the biggest one, is the one you should be revolting over more so. These are just easier to digest and easier to revolt against.
And looks like we have Siri has relented. We have Vincent back with us. Vincent.
Did you find a new potato to call us on? What was going on there?
Yes. Yeah. Is that what it sounds like?
That's good. So I want to get your, before we're done here, I want to get your thought on this. You had mentioned that this is unstable revenue. These sin taxes or excise taxes are unstable revenue. Why is that the case? Why is it not advisable for the government to be relying on this version of taxation?
Well, because they're relying on the behavior of consumers, which in any market is fickle. But when you're relying on taxing behaviors that can be particularly perceived as unhealthy or undesirable, take cigarettes. Cigarettes have been basically falling out of favor since the 1960s pretty steadily. And as a result, if you're relying on tax revenue from taxes that are basically tied to use of those products, then you're going to end up quite short of projections, which is exactly what the Illinois, Department of Revenue has found. Last time the cigarette tax at the state level was raised, I believe that was 2012, and the Department of Revenue discovered that they received $120 million less than they had originally budgeted for.
You bring them up, and it's always one of my favorite examples of the duplicitousness of people who advocate for these kinds of things. Because on one hand, you have cigarette taxes, people who advocate for them saying, it's like, these are going to be great because we're going to raise the cost of cigarettes, and therefore fewer people are going to smoke, and that's a good thing because smoking is not good for you. And then out of the other side of your mouth, you get and we are also going to get all of this revenue, which, of course, we've already budgeted for, that is also going to fall short of our expectations, which is going to create a deficit in terms of what we plan for and what we actually get.
Tony Preckwinkle basically said that soda is bad for you. That's why we're going to tax it, and we're also relying on this revenue.
Right.
Right. It's unreliable because it's inherently contradictory in its objective.
So, Illinoisans who are looking at these incredible excise taxes, is this, primarily a state problem? Is it a local problem? What end of the spectrum more so are we seeing? Where are they coming from? Springfield or your local communities?
Well, it's both. Illinois has some of the highest excise taxes in the nation, highest sin taxes in the nation, but also the city of Chicago is also unique in that it is increasingly relying on revenue from excise taxes. I just mentioned before I got disconnected the on wireless taxes now outpacing that of any other state in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
That's largely due to increases in taxes and fees raised at the local level, predominantly in Chicago. However, there's a relationship between what Chicago's taxing tendencies and the states. You saw Rahm Emanuel, I'm sure, just a couple of weeks ago, coming out saying the state needed to at least double its gas tax on infrastructure, largely concentrated in Chicago and the Chicago area.
Well, it's for the people talking about sales taxes that we led off this conversation with. Just so you people know, it's not just Chicago that is, has this reputation for incredibly high sales taxes. A sales tax referendum that passed in Springfield makes Springfield, Illinois, have one of the highest sales tax rates in the entire country. So it really is a problem all over the state of Illinois, and doing a good job covering it. Vincent Caruso, a writer at the Illinois Policy Institute. Vincent, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because Lowe's has the fixtures and the savings pros need to finish the job right. Building or renovating a bathroom? Right now, you can get up to 35% off select bath faucets. You can even get select toilets starting at $88. Plus, you can order what you need at LowesForPros.com and pick up your order in-store. So, Pro, now that you know, start with Lowe's. While supplies last, selection varies by location, U.S. only.
'Twas the holiday season, and in your garage, a brand new John Deere. That's not a mirage. With neighbors admiring your shiny new ride, it's your year for a Deere to fill you with pride. So if additional offers are what you desire, see our low rates before they expire. Now start up your engines and drive out of sight. New John Deere equipment for all, and to all a good night. Make it your year for a Deere. See your John Deere dealer today to discover more amazing deals and attractive financing offers.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Gina Labus, President and CEO of Mid-States Glass and Metal and a customer of Signature Bank since 2011. As we expanded our business into all aspects of the glass and metal industry, we needed a bank who could grow along with us. That's when we met Mick O'Rourke, co-founder of Signature Bank. Mick and his team took the time to understand the ebbs and flows of our business. They worked with us to find a solution that would support our growth. Mid-States Glass and Metal is proud to work with Signature Bank because they support Chicagoland women-owned businesses like mine.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Nothing speaks louder about an auto dealer than a happy customer. And at Joe Cotton Ford, they have many.
It's like my family. I never go anywhere else than Joe Cotton Ford. If I have to buy a car, I always go first Joe Cotton Ford. And they have best service ever, and the best price, and the best models.
My overall experience is great. It's easy to buy, it's easy to go through service, and overall, it's just a great experience.
More reasons why folks keep coming back to Joe Cotton Ford. Joe Cotton Ford wishes you the happiest holidays ever and gives you the gift of 0% for 72 months on many of Ford's most popular vehicles for qualified buyers. And get the biggest rebates of the year on all remaining 2018 models at Joe Cotton Ford. No hype and no pressure. It's why generations of customers keep coming back to Joe Cotton Ford. Get to Joe Cotton Ford today. 0% for 72 months is only for a limited time. Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream or at joecottonford.com. joecottonford.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's actually really been helping my system and my lupus and my gastro problems. So I'm actually very happy with the product.
Acid reflux is pretty much under control. That's why I keep taking it.
I have noticed, I'm sleeping better since I started taking the Balance of Nature and all the other things I'm doing.
I can't believe how wonderful your product is. I listened to you guys on the radio for years and years and years,
and I listened to all the testimonials. I go, well, it's probably time to give it a try. And I've been just happy as can be ever since.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
All right, if your roof's needy, you can call Crumweedy. Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies, and the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact, and many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy, call Crumweedy. That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myroofisneedy.com.
Famous conservative quotes presented by Automated Systems.
Ronald Reagan wisely stated, "Of the 4 wars in my lifetime, not a single one of them came about because the U.S. was too strong."
Hey, manufacturing companies, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Coolchar from Automated Systems. Automated Systems is a software and systems integration company that specializes in companies that are required to meet FDA compliance requirements. Automated Systems will create a custom solution to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer projects. From Fortune 500 to startup, ASI delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, or I encourage you to talk to Laz at Automated Systems, call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit HireASI.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or online at HireASI.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Eric Cohn, Joe Kaiser filling in today for Dan and Amy. We talked with Rory Broomfield about kind of the unpredictability of politics, how it is hard to know exactly what is going to happen. Many people certainly would not have predicted that Donald Trump was going to be the president of the United States. But some people attempt to predict these things. Yeah. And by those people, I mean degenerate gamblers.
I mean, degenerate is, yeah.
I say it lovingly.
Degenerate gamblers and synonyms. So, what's interesting, gambling on politics has kind of gained a little steam in recent years. It's a big thing that this website Paddy Power in the UK was doing for a while, putting out lines on elections, and it makes sense because it's basically a game in a way. Like, you have a winner and a loser, so why not? I think you should be able to gamble on anything. My roommate in college and I bet on the People's Court for a while. We'd pick somebody, and then the winner would get a cash prize. And today,
which is usually more than the people in those cases got, so that's good for you.
Today, I was gazing at the presidential odds. This is to win the whole thing. So not just Republican nomination or Democrat nomination, but to win the whole thing, presented by Bovada, a sports book online. And of course, Donald Trump. Now, what's interesting about this is so that somebody sets the lines, but then the public. This is a reflection of what the public is feeling because that's how the lines move. Donald Trump is, of course, the favorite because he's the incumbent. Best odds. His odds are plus 150, which means if you bet $100, you get your money back plus 150. Then after him, the favorites on the Democrat side would be Beto O'Rourke and Kamala Harris. Makes sense. Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren in the next tier. Then you get into weird areas with like Mike Pence, if Trump doesn't run again, or if Trump's impeached or something. Hillary Clinton, Kristen Gillibrand, Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama.
Oh, some of this is remarkable to me as I'm looking at the same numbers you are, that you have serious people. Like, take, for example, John Kasich, who I'm not a huge fan of. I think Jonah Goldberg is correct that he is largely a human toothache. But the current two-term Yeah, two-term governor of the state of Ohio, former presidential candidate,
who's
member of
hinting
Congress,
at the possibility of running.
who actually has, yes, given serious indication that he may run for president. And according to this, a person with better odds of becoming president, not by much, but still better, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Which I guess if The Rock ran on the Democrat side, he could be like their Trump. But like in the celebrity status, I think he's much more articulate. But yeah, that's crazy. But this is the way the public's kind of feeling. And I think a lot of these numbers are ridiculous. Like Rand Paul, who I don't think is going to primary Trump, but his odds are worse than Ben Shapiro's. Ben Shapiro's not going to run for president, people. Mark Zuckerberg has better odds, too. It's just like, it's interesting to look at this because, one, gambling's fun. Games of chance are fun, but also it's a good reflection of how people are feeling. And it's like they're starting to see the unpredictability, or they're just interested in the celebrity aspect. I think even people who don't like Donald Trump are somewhat interested or intrigued, even for bad reasons, about the possibility of celebrity presidents. That's why you see The Rock on here. That's why you see Oprah, Kanye West, Joe Rogan's on here, Tom Brady. Like, some of these are just so incredibly outlandish.
I'm not the originator of this observation, but I think it is an accurate one. And for all of the people on the left who are not fans of Trump, who are pointing to this and kind of laughing at it and saying that, ha, 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 you guys let this reality show star come in and take over your party, and now he's president of the United States. Very much the joke is going to be on them, I think, because you exhaust the Republican Party's list of celebrities somewhere around Ted Nugent and Scott Baio. Whereas, tell me, if you don't honestly believe that Tom Hanks or George Clooney or Oprah, if they would have jumped in the last election, that they wouldn't have kind of immediately been the odds-on favorite, would almost certainly have won. And one of the problems of all of this is none of these people have any idea how to govern. And we find this with regard to, look, some of the things that have come out of the Trump administration, I am a fan of. A lot of it has been Mitch McConnell pushing this agenda through the Senate. Donald Trump has never been in government before. And for the people, and this is one of the tics of the right that has always driven me nuts, the idea of we're going to run the government like it's a business. The problem is it's not a business. Exactly. The incentives are not the same. Managing it is not the same. And being a celebrity and thinking somehow George Clooney is going to have any better of an idea how to run the government is nuts.
That bench on the left is so big in terms of celebrities. And one name that comes up here, and I mean, he's kind of on the left. If he had to pick between the two major parties, he'd run as a Democrat. But Mark Cuban, who said, he's on the record of saying, had he run for president in 2016, he would have beaten Trump one-on-one.
He might not be wrong about that.
He might be right, but that's the thing. Is like he has a much better demeanor. He's much more articulate. He's a nicer guy, but I don't think Mark Cuban really knows anything as successful as he is in his private life about governing. The way Donald Trump doesn't know anything about governing.
I think he'd be endlessly frustrated by it. I mean, another example of someone who I actually think falls into the category of somebody who not only seems like they've expressed an interest in running, that could run, that could potentially win the nomination and perhaps win the presidency. To me, coming in kind of the middle of this pack, Howard Schultz, former CEO of Starbucks. That seems to be, he seems to have kind of tipped his hand that maybe he's actually considering this. That's an interesting, it'd be an interesting one for me to bet on if I were a gambling man, which I'm not.
Well, I am, and I do find that interesting. I find Mark Zuckerberg interesting also, but I find also like half that list terrifying too. But if you want to like have an emotional hedge against that, if you're afraid of Mark Zuckerberg being president, plus 6,600, bet like $2 on him. That way, if he becomes president, you're upset about that. You at least
I'll make some money off of it.
Yeah.
I want to know. So the three people with the longest odds to become president, according to this list, are Joe Rogan, Tom Brady, and Will Smith. And what I want to know is, if Will Smith is elected president of the United States, will we be required to change the national anthem to an original super family-friendly rap by Will Smith?
All right, let's end the show on that one.
Are you saying that we can't possibly go up from there, or we can't possibly get any worse than that observation?
I said in the outset that everything gets better, but that might be a challenge to that whole thing. We're gonna go from Donald Trump to, like Miami as our new national anthem. I don't.
Wild West. I mean, come on, yeah. So the good news for all of you is perhaps you can find out tomorrow if we could possibly do any worse than we did today, because Joe and I will be back with you tomorrow filling in for Dan and Amy. A lot to talk about. We're going to talk about tomorrow about Trump's move to withdraw troops from Syria. We're going to talk to another of our Illinois Policy Institute colleagues, Bryce Hill, about the Out My